Ding, 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 ding. Welcome to another episode of Happy No Fear. I am, as always, your host, Chase, and we're recording from my studio in Los Angeles. On this week's episode, we have a very special guest and a good friend of mine. Back when I was still painting on the balcony, he offered me a studio for free for a year and really propelled me into what was to come after that. And so we talk a little bit about that, but mostly about how he came up as a production designer, originally from Manchester, then moving to LA and all over the place, doing his fantastic work. So without further ado, I give to you Mr. Regan Jackson. What's up, young man? What's up, young sir? What's up, Mr. Jackson?
Here we are.
Man, I like what you were talking about.
Flicking my phone.
I like it. Yeah,
54-year-old phone addict.
Yeah, let's turn them off. We're gonna try to not.
What about when you see like old men acting like teenagers with their phone? That's a good one.
Yeah, concerned about their likes and their mentions.
Just do me a solid, really, gentlemen. Try to talk in front of the mic.
Oh, there you go.
Can. I mean, you can just pull your chair up. Just whatever you want to be relaxed.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Now you're on axis. Boom.
I'm on axis.
Immigrant mentality.
Which axis am I on, mate?
The bus.
Oh, we were just talking about the bus, right?
The bus.
The RTD.
The immigrant bus.
Man,
that's what it is, like that's what they call it, the caravan, the immigrant caravan. Yeah, I used to get the immigrant caravan to work every morning.
Hey, can I get a transfer? That's 25 cents.
Oh, I used to love that transfer. It was such
that
a deal.
Take you a long way, man.
Yeah, man, you could really go. Yeah, I used to love it. I used to read a book on it. Everyone used to really flip out on me, like laugh at me and shit. You know, like, you get the bus?
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I get the bus. I mean, they did embarrass me into not getting the bus.
Yeah.
And my car blew up like a week later because I bought it off some Armenian dude and it blew up on me. Do you know what I mean? And I took it back to him and he fixed it. Oh, Arsham.
Yeah.
When I lived in the Armenian neighborhood of Hollywood, man.
That's a strong community there.
Yeah.
A lot of Armenians, like
all the sons' names began with R.
Yeah.
Rafi, Razmik, Ralphie, Ronnie, right? Yeah. And they like me because my name begins with R. You know, he said, come, sit with us. And they'd sit on the floor and have Turkish coffee in their house, you know. Yeah. This is Hollywood. This was my first experiences of Hollywood.
What year was that?
1990.
You moved here in 1990, right?
Yeah.
From Manchester.
No, I was traveling.
Oh, you went to New York?
Traveling.
Oh, no, you lived in Amsterdam.
I lived in Holland.
Yeah.
Teaching hairdressing.
Yeah.
I still think of that as like another lifetime ago.
Yeah.
I can't remember actually teaching any hairdressing or actually doing anything when I was there. I used to play a lot of pool, drink fresh orange juice, and and get spliffed up in local places.
It's bananas, man. Weren't you like?
Before that, I lived in Australia when I was a kid.
Yeah.
When I was 18, I went to Australia.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I lived there for a year, and it was wild. It was too wild. I had to leave.
What brought you to Australia when you were 18?
My brother was there.
No shit.
Yeah. We all thought we were going to emigrate to Australia when we were kids, right? My mum backed out when she found out there was a bunch of spiders and shit there.
Oh, man. I would back out in a second as well.
My mum was like, wait, what? No, thank you.
Yeah. There's like killer spiders that jump on you and shit in Australia.
Well, I told everybody at school I was going to Australia, you know what I mean? So I was pretty convinced I was going.
Yeah. You were the man for like 2 weeks, and then I guess we're staying.
Yeah. I wrote it down as well on this thing, and I told that I went there already.
An early vision board.
I was visualizing what I wanted in life. They didn't understand. Yeah. But I went there for a year. It was too much. It was too wild. I couldn't handle it.
Yeah, I've never been to Australia, but
it was mad. We were living right in the middle of the city, my brother, and it was a bunch of guys, and we were out every night, and it was.
You go to King's Corner?
King's Cross.
I
lived around the corner from King's Cross.
Still can't get that.
We used to pour buckets of water on people's heads when they were walking home drunk. Do you know what I mean? Because we lived like 6 floors up, and they were like stood there, all these Aussies insulting us, you know, because with the British and all that, you know. Like, it was like, fuck off. Fuck, I'll come up there. You know, it was great.
You're like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
by
you're
that time you're going.
I like King's Cross. I liked Australia. Some tall women there.
Mm-hmm.
Very tall.
They're very particular people. They're Australians.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're rougher.
very-
They're bandits. They're hard folks.
They're
Hard
competitive.
People. Yeah.
You know, they're out there on their own. You know, they're over there.
In a dangerous country.
They're
where-
over
where
there
you
in a
can-
place full of like spiders and shit.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
They've got the most venomous spiders in the world.
And snakes and all that stuff everywhere.
I actually drove around Australia in a Volkswagen bus back in the day as well. Another time when I went back there, I foolishly bought a Volkswagen bus because I've got an obsession with Volkswagens.
Yeah.
Put a new engine in it. It was an old postal truck. Put a bed and all that in the back and decided to drive into the middle of Australia in this piece of shit. You know
That's
what I mean?
the
It's
That's the
fucking
lie.
terrifying. You know what I mean?
The back roads of like in the
The outback.
The outback.
Yeah, to the Alice Springs and all that, to crazy places where everything was 500. The next thing to see was 500 miles away.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It was
Oh, we better get gas
2
now,
full tanks
honey.
of gas. Yeah. You needed before you got there. That was the joke.
It's like
to them.
every
Everything was
serial killer
down the
movie.
road.
Yeah.
They mean 500 miles when they say that, down the road. Like in LA when you come here and they say it's a couple of blocks. You know what I mean? You're like, I'm driving for like 3 miles. You know what I mean? Like, how fucking long is this block? Like, you know, in the valley when you remember that.
It's bananas. And
it was the most foolish thing I ever did in my life. Really.
Yeah? It was dangerous, huh?
It was stupid. Yeah, I got like nearly dragged out in the ocean. No lifeguards, fucking snakes and all kinds of shit. Yeah, I got a river came through once and I couldn't get out. I had to walk through the river and clear all the rocks out, right? And then take a run at it.
Like a flash flood that created the river,
flood,
and all of a sudden
and
you're
I had
in the
to go.
river.
I had to go because I thought the rain was coming, you know? So I was like, get out now, like, you know, crocodiles and all kinds. Well, I didn't see it. You know, I seen crocodiles, but I didn't see any, but, you know, they're in your mind, like, you know, you can't even go in the ocean half the time there. It's full of shit. It's full of like
Christ.
Sharks and shit.
No, a Portuguese man of war, jellyfish,
Yeah.
and sandflies,
Yeah.
and fucking stuff just
Bunch of
everywhere.
animals.
Fucking massive lizards falling on my Volkswagen
can't
bus
do
in
it.
the middle of the night,
Man,
scaring
horror.
the shit out of me.
Horror.
And I got lost in the outback.
Yeah.
Don't go for a walk in the outback, they say. You know what I mean?
It's like the
All my
backdrop.
friends were on acid at the fucking base camp. They didn't even know I was gone.
I swear that.
No, and
You come back 2 weeks later, they didn't even know.
No, listen, this is real. This is a real story. I went for a walk, right? And I was get away from these lot all on acid, doing my head in. So, you know, it was like at the campsite, and the real Alice Springs, this little place, was around the corner, the original settlement. So it was a path, you know. I was like, all right, cool. So I went through this path, did my thing, saw this, you know, went through this grassy area to this, and this thing, Alice Springs. Wow, great. And then I got there, and this guy goes to me, have you ever heard of a saying, snakes in the grass? And I went, yeah. He goes, the most venomous snakes in the world are in that grass you just walk through.
No kind of fun, man.
And I went, what? He goes, snakes live in the grass, mate. And I was like, oh, fuck. So I didn't go the same way I came. And I got fucking lost.
Oh, man.
Lost.
You couldn't go back that way.
Lost.
Yeah. Fucking hell, man.
Fucking hell, I'm lost. And then you don't realize it's a trillion little hills there.
Yeah.
So you get up and all you can see is more of exactly the same of where you are.
Ah, nightmare.
All of a sudden your mind goes, you know, I'm like, I don't know which way is east.
Yeah.
I don't know which way is west. And you start panicking straight away, you know what I mean? And I was like, stop. Right. You know, then it was like that for about an hour, right? Of me panicking, right? Thinking I'm going to die here. My mum's never going to see me again.
Yeah.
You know, which happened about 10 times while I was on that trip. Do you know what I mean? Not in Australia, but like in different parts of the world. You know, like I was in the middle of the Pacific one time on a boat, you know, going to this little island in Fiji. No one knew I was on this boat.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I
Solo
was like,
mission.
that's it.
Yeah.
Never to be seen again.
Yeah.
Crying my eyes out, holding onto the boat.
Really, man? By yourself?
No, with this guy laughing, this Fijian dude like that. Yeah. Like laughing, telling me stuff like, oh, you got to watch these tip you over, these ones, you know? And I was like, oh. Anyway, back to the snakes in the grass. So I'm there. Oh my God. It was like, I'm lost. Right?
Yeah, that's it.
I'm like, oh, please don't let me die here. I didn't even have enough water. I only had a little bit of water.
Water, man.
Like this, you know? And the sun was setting. And I was like, what do I
about to
do?
get dark.
And I was like, what do I do right now? What do I do? And I was like, don't go anywhere. Don't try and go anywhere, right? Because then you're just going to get more lost and more exhausted.
Yeah.
You're going to expend all your energy, save your energy, right? I was like, I'm going to have to stay here for the night.
Just
you know what I mean?
put.
Just stay where I am.
Let them find you kind of
Right,
thing.
let them find me. Then I was like, what? No, you're going to die.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Gotta go
You
now.
gotta move. Maybe they're around the
You
corner
know,
here.
yeah. What are you talking about? You know, like panic stations, you know, like my mind going so quick, you know. This is the gospel. Then I'm like, please, send me a sign. Send me a sign. I need something, mate. I don't want to die here. You know what I mean? Like, no, fucking, you read about this shit on the news all the time on there, you know. Two German couple found dead in the backpack, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Terrorists.
Two German, both wearing cut-off shorts with very burned knees. Anyway, so all of a sudden, the fucking trees start rustling. No, this is fucking true. Big fuck-off kangaroo comes out, right? A big one. The big one. There's all different types of kangaroos, like 20 types of them, you know?
Yeah.
This was a big one.
Donkey Kong sized kangaroo.
Came out like this. And to this fucking day, goes,
No
right?
shit.
I'm like, I just asked for a sign, you know?
Yeah.
It's looking at me.
Yeah.
And then it just hops off.
Yeah.
I'm like, follow the fucking
Follow
kangaroo.
the kangaroo, man.
So I set off with this kangaroo, right? And it's fucking, fucking running now. Now I'm telling myself, you're Masai Mara. You can do this. Just run. Because I'm a runner, you know?
Yeah.
Run. You got this. Run. And then I see this little dust of smoke in the foreground of a car.
Yeah.
You know? And I run out to it. And I'm like,
It's me.
I've only been lost like an hour and a half. You know what I mean? It's like, all this all happened like.
Wait, were you also on a
Panic
head full of
stations.
acid? You were on acid
No, I
too?
wasn't on
You
acid.
you
They all
clean.
were. So
Yeah.
they didn't know that I was gone. I was
Yeah.
with this group of people, you know.
Yeah.
And
To
they
them,
would
just
have known till the day after, really, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't know what they would have done about it. There was no one around there, you know?
Kangaroo saved your life, man.
Wow, that's
No,
amazing.
and then I ran, and this guy, and it was sun was setting, and I was like this, and he goes, pulled over, he goes, what the fuck are you doing here? You know? And I said, I just followed the kangaroo. And he's like, you one lucky fucking pommy, mate. You know? And he goes, you lucky. You go, oh, you know how many people die doing this?
Yeah.
One wrong move here, you don't know where you are. It's like a maze. It's not flat. It's not flat.
So the horizon is always blocked
it's-
by another
you
hill.
You look like you're in some sort of Dali-esque continuous surreality of the same thing.
Jesus.
And your mind goes really quick, you know?
Yeah.
He's the
Your
first to
mind
go.
goes really quick.
Yeah.
Your mind goes into, you really need to be trained.
Yeah.
Like army guys get trained, you know what I mean? On stress, people get trained about how to deal with
Survival
trauma.
orientation.
You know, yeah.
Wh-
Anyway,
what-
that was
yeah.
a fucking, I was like, that was like a never leave the boat moment after that. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Never
yeah,
leave
yeah,
the
yeah,
boat.
yeah.
Like, you know,
Leave a little-
in Apocalypse Now.
Yeah,
never
don't leave the boat.
Never leave
Yeah.
the boat.
Yeah.
When he's getting the mangoes.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a mango sauce. Yeah.
Charlie don't surf.
That tiger comes out at him.
Yeah. Bananas,
So,
man.
that was pretty foolhardy thing to do.
Yeah. That's those are
But at that
moments in life.
point-
That's something else.
But at that point, you know, I'd been traveling for like 18 months.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
And
And then I got to America.
yeah.
No, I went to Canada and it was cold.
Uh-huh.
And I was either the price of buying a brand new jacket or get a flight to LA.
No
Same
shit.
sort of thing.
An expensive jacket.
Well, it was cold.
Yeah.
You know, you need clothes to live in the cold.
Yeah,
And I
of
didn't
course.
have clothes to live
Right.
in the cold, right? And I wanted to be in Canada. But I was like, it's cold.
Yeah.
Fuck that. So I called me mate. And I said, you know, have you got any mates in LA? And he said, oh, call me mate. And
Yeah. And that's so you were just traveling the world, and then just almost by happenstance, a little bit like, where should I go next? You just say, hey, let's go to LA.
Yeah, and I was going to end up. I had some money left from some ill-gotten gains left.
Yeah,
and yeah,
and then you landed here,
and I didn't know LA and Hollywood was the same place.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, and I think because I didn't have an agenda, I've always been able. I developed an agenda, but I didn't have one when I got here.
Yeah.
And I find that's the difference with people coming to LA.
Yeah.
You know, then they have an agenda. It's an amazing place or a horrendous place.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because that expectation, you
want to be a star. You want to be,
you
you want to be this. You want to be that.
Yeah.
You want to be known. You want to be something. You want to be a director.
Right. You can only get disappointed real quick in LA.
You can set yourself up for disappointment by having an agenda anywhere.
Right.
I found the same thing in London. I had an agenda in London.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we have a class system in England and they can't help but impose it onto you.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fucking, for me, it's the worst part of that culture, you know. I mean, we have a class system here also. It's just different. Mm-hmm. So I don't get imposed on it by the same way. In fact, I would say I get credit for something I haven't got here. Yeah. By being English, they're like, oh, he sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
He's super intelligent.
He sounds pretty convinced he knows what he's talking about.
He certainly comes across as an authority on the matter.
Well, a can do country, you know, you have to intern in England to be an intern.
Yeah.
You have to have experience to get an intern job to work for free.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're dangling this movie industry carrot in front of you pretty hard.
Yeah.
They're not giving it to the, you know, the lower classes.
Yeah.
Unless you snatch it.
Mm-hmm.
But you usually have to come to another place to snatch it.
Right.
But, you know, another thing that happened to me when I got here is, do you know the band The Happy Mondays?
I do, yeah.
Well, I used to know all those guys back in Manchester.
Okay.
So when I got here, I hooked up with them straight away, you know, and they were mental. They were like robbing drug dealers and shit. You know what I mean? They were mad.
Fucking shit, man.
Yeah, they were robbing.
Manchester style.
Yeah, Manchester style. We'll pay you after the show, mate. Now, fuck off. You know what I mean? 25 of them, one of him. You know what I mean? I'm like,
I'll pay you after I'm gonna roll with these boys.
They had a bag of drugs. Yeah. I was with them. It was chaotic. But Sean, he's like the main guy, Sean Ryder. And he was like, you know, you're not a northerner anymore, mate. You're just English.
Yeah, it's true. Man.
And I was like, what? Because I just got here, you know. And he's like, you're not a northerner anymore. They don't know nothing about all that shit.
Yeah, those distinctions.
Like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
I said, the girls don't know anything too. He's like, nobody knows nothing. You're just English.
Yeah.
And I was like, and he's like, what you gonna do? You gonna fucking, you gonna give it a go here, or you gonna, you know, pull some stunts like everybody was doing, you know? And I was like, I think I'm gonna give it a go.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, give it a go. Let them love you.
That's
what he said. Let them love you.
Yeah.
The Yanks love us. Let them love you. This was his words of wisdom.
Yeah.
Words of true wisdom.
Yeah.
I mean, he's known as a poet in Manchester, you know, but very basic poetry. Like, son, I'm 30. I only went with your mother because she's dirty. And I don't have a decent bone in me. What you see is what you get. And it's like, there's just lyrics to his songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's real hilarious shit.
That's bananas. So you're like, you know what?
I went to the DMV. I got...
this is 1990 now we're talking.
Yeah, 1990.
Yeah.
I used to... I know I shouldn't talk about it.
No, it's all good.
No, it's all good.
No,
they were funny. Yeah, they were great. They were showing me exactly what not to do. Like a lot of people, you know, some people show you what to do, and some people show you what not to do.
Yeah.
Everyone's showing you something.
Yeah.
Showing you cards, you know. And then I got a job. First phone call I ever made. My mate said, "How are you going to get a job?" Right? So I said, "From the paper." And he goes, "Oh, you think it's that easy?" And I was like, "I don't know. I've not even tried yet. You know, like, give it a go first, mate." He's like, "You'll never get a job on the paper. You should come to the building site." And I was like, "Oh, I don't think so, mate."
Yeah.
Nah. That was me. That was what I got away from my dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the building site was what I was supposed
Construction
to do.
stuff, yeah.
It's what I was supposed to be.
Right.
We were all getting primed from it from our father. It was like
Generation.
24/7 worker, wouldn't stop. He only enjoyed working.
Yeah,
That's all he liked. Reading books and working, didn't like anything else.
So that was the path that was set out for you
Chose
already.
for me, and then all of a sudden the British economy collapsed. 1980, just as I left school. I left school in 1980. That's crazy.
Yeah.
16, you leave school. They couldn't wait to get rid of us.
Yeah.
They were like, "You lot can go now. Your education's complete.
That's about enough.
You're done.
Go find your own.
Go and find yourself a cell.
You're done.
Go and share a cell with somebody."
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, Manchester's rough, huh?
No.
In a way, it's rough, no?
It's fucking Manchester, please. Where was the computer invented?
Manchester.
Right.
Was it?
Yes.
No shit.
Where did they split the atom?
In Manchester?
Manchester.
No shit.
Who has more universities?
Compton.
No, split not the ounce, the atom. More universities than anywhere else in England for the city.
Yeah.
Socialism.
Yeah.
The NHS all came from all of that. The National Health Service. There's this thing called the Ramblers, which are people who made you let them walk across farmland. All the paths through England that you can walk on, country paths that go through private property.
Oh, no shit.
There's a thing called the Ramblers back in the day, and they demanded that we could walk on the land, even though they didn't own it.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
And still to this day now, and it was all formed by, they work 6 days a week. Then one day they was going to the countryside and
enjoy the country.
enjoy the country.
Right.
Yeah. And it's still to this day, like we don't realize what other people's shoulders we're stepping on. You know what I mean? Like who gave us our rights in the beginning? You know what I mean? Who fought for all this stuff?
Right.
They're easily taken away. They're not easily gained.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
We need to fight for them.
Yeah. So many are taken away like immediately. As soon as something bad happens, there's some adjustment to some bill, some law.
Yeah.
And it's all tucked in there, only under certain pretenses, this will occur, but it's law now, so they can like the sunset clauses on the Patriot Act, like all the NCAA Act, those are crazy.
You can get all caught up in it too, you know what I mean, and forget to get on with your life.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I did that for a while.
Everybody does. It's the new conspiracy is the new conspiracy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is the new conspiracy. It's tying us up in our thinking.
Right.
And in a concept of overthinking, I'm guilty of it.
Yeah, I am too.
And I'm aware of it.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm aware of it and I'm still guilty of it.
Yeah.
I'm aware of my phone's bullshit and I'm still on it like a teenager.
Yeah, willing participant.
Now you can find out how many hours you're on it a day and it's embarrassing.
I looked
sometimes,
once.
You know what I
I
mean?
looked once. I'm like, I never want again.
8 hours.
I don't want to see it again.
Oh my God.
I don't want to know the truth.
I know. I accidentally saw it. And I was like ashamed of myself.
My missus pointed it out to me. She's like, Regan, do you know about this feature?
I'm gonna read a book. And
I looked once. I'm never looking again.
I said to my missus, okay, you're right. I said, what's the solution? She goes, turn off your notifications.
Exactly.
You're getting caught up in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll turn off the and she was true. The day after it just went away,
Yeah.
Things go away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're fighting for our attention.
What we were just talking about, like legalizing things, like things go away when you stop paying them attention,
Right.
Like
when they're desensitized, when the taboo is taken away, let's say the legalization of all drugs or like all these ideas that are so like cookie in the cookie jar syndrome. When it's no longer forbidden, when it's no longer forbidden, the interest is lost, in it. It becomes highlighted when we're not supposed to.
I just read some country legalized gangs. I think it was Ecuador or somewhere.
I heard that.
They legalized gangs and the crime rate collapsed.
It's like, I'm no longer interested.
It's no longer a bad thing.
Yeah,
right?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Be in a gang.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all gangs anyway, right?
Yeah. Cliques, tribes, whatever.
Right. Red and blue.
Tribalism.
Yeah. There's a great book about that, about football, soccer. Soccer.
Right. Yeah.
Soccer.
Football, we call it. LAFC Football Club.
How's that? You still?
Well, last night.
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant.
No shit. Huh?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Such a laugh. And it's such a culture they've developed so quick. I mean, my friend came over with his kids. We get them all into our section. They've all got tickets for other sections, but we just get them all into the the standing area we're in. Full on. People get hammered.
Yeah.
Some fighting in the shit.
Yeah, a little bit of energy.
You need a bit of an outlet.
But Reeg, let's go back to 1990. You land here because I'm super interested.
All right, sure.
Like we've been friends. We've been friends. How long? We met in 2004, and we clicked right away. We'll get to that in a second. But because I know some of it.
Again,
So you got here,
okay, right?
Right.
I'd been traveling for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd had enough. I just wanted to speak English. Yeah. And wear nice clothes.
Yeah, and have running water.
And just I just wanted to have a look at, Western lifestyle for a change.
Right.
All of a sudden, I'd seen all these other alternate lifestyles, and I became to appreciate what we actually have in the West.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, America. And I never even thought about America. I was like, why would I go to America? It's full of Americans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fuck when I go there,
It's a shame, yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame. I was like, I wasn't even on my agenda. I thought it's expensive, and I was only going to cheap places with my money,
Right.
And I got here, and I was just like, what I didn't know is every time I got into one of these countries, I subliminally asked myself, everywhere I moved, Australia, Holland, Germany, wherever I lived, I used to subliminally ask myself, is this where I'm supposed to be?
Yeah.
I didn't know I was doing it, but I was doing it. And when I landed in LA, I was like, oh, look at the sun.
That palm tree.
Oh, look at the palm tree. And then I was at the airport, and this red Porsche pulled up like this.
Yeah.
These two hot girls jumped into the back of them. Two hot girls jumped in the back, and they were all like, oh, and they drove off, And I'd been in the third world at this point, you know what I mean? And so I was like,
snakes in the grass.
I was like, wow, there's some loot here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I was like, wow,
there's energy here.
I was like, wow, wow. I was like, hey, it's all right here. It's nice, I was only here for 5 days I came for, just to have a look, And I was going to keep going. I was like, wow, it's nice. It's nice here. Yeah. And stayed with my mate.
Mm-hmm.
The Zen, Tess Merely, Geordie, Newcastle lad.
Uh-huh.
He had a card that said Zen Poet Carpenter on it. And he was a deadhead.
Yeah.
He was mad for it.
Yeah. Grateful Dead.
Still is. He's still the same person. He's still here. He's still the same. He's the most person who stayed true to himself that I've known, actually. Through his own thing. And I really respect him for that.
And then, so you stayed here, but did you have any idea you would end up working in the business,
No.
getting into art direction,
I
set design, all that
I
stuff?
had no idea. I didn't even know art direction existed. I didn't know.
I remember you told me a story a long time
was.
ago about, making tea on set, being
that was
of service. But how'd you get even to be on set,
all right,
right?
So
let's get there.
I got a job.
Uh-huh.
Right. No, like my mate said, what are you going to do? Do you want to work as a building assistant and all that? I was like, oh, no, thanks.
Uh-huh.
I'm good. It's hot out there, right? And he's like, well, what are you going to do? And I was like, I don't know, there's clubs around, right? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, maybe I'll do that, And he's like, oh, house music was pretty prevalent.
Yeah, I'm good.
And, and all this. And I thought I'll just do a bit of hustling a little bit, with the English through ourselves, And so I didn't really fancy that, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime.
Right,
it's in my mind as well, like,
God damn, it could be some
American
time attached to
jail.
it. Yeah.
Fun.
That is drive straight.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll get a job as a hairdresser. I used to be a hairdresser.
Yeah. Which is hilarious.
I trained at Vidal Sassoon when I was a kid.
Unbelievable, man. Yeah.
It was the best.
Yeah.
We were inside. It was warm. There's chicks everywhere.
Chicks must have been everywhere.
It's fucking dope.
Yeah,
and now you're touching with them.
Did you have a signature
You're
cut?
learning how to.
Do you have a signature cut?
Yeah. I was in the, it was very geometric when I was there. I could probably still do it if someone was brave enough to let me have a go.
I just got a cut, man.
Yeah. No, you need the right equipment. Everything's about equipment. I mean, you need the right equipment for everything. You can't just do it with you can't paint with a fucking
scissors.
broom, can you? You know what I mean? You
Some
could, but it'd
can.
look like shit.
Some can.
Some can do, some can't.
So
And I got a job. Anyway, so
as a hairdresser in LA.
my mate said, I said, when did the paper come out? He goes, Thursday. I said, all right. Thursday than it is. I'm sure I didn't say
It's
I.
classifieds back
I
then.
said, okay.
Yeah.
No, it was the LA Times.
Yeah.
Picked the paper up like this, and he's painting the TV or something at the time. You know what I mean? Because he was on acid too. Do you know what I mean? He was like, he was fucking mad in there. And he looked down onto Silver Lake, and he called his house the Zenadobe, right?
Yeah.
And he was really into all this stuff, spiritual stuff and the Grateful Dead and all that. He took me to 8 shows.
Yeah. No shit, man.
Yeah.
That's
I bought
beautiful.
a bunch of opium at one show and then sold it to the Happy Mondays.
Yeah.
And that's how I made my initial money to buy a car.
No shit, man.
Yeah, I bought like an ounce of opium and
Yeah.
gave it to him. They were all making that album at the time.
Uh-huh.
And they were all walking to plate glass windows because they were all off their heads. They all had like bandages up in the Capitol building. They all had big bandages on their forehead from walking into plate glass doors and shit. There's like 25 Mancunian fucking hooligans in this room, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And like he had a secret stash, one of those cans that
I have one of those,
like that.
yeah.
Well,
And
someone pulled his ring off and he was like, who the fuck has done this? To his stash because he had his little gear in there and all that. It's funny.
Yeah, I had a VHS tape like that. It clicks off and you could stash in there. But I remember the can, you could screw the top off.
Yeah.
Little stash can.
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
7-Up.
The false bottoms, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, I looked in the paper. Westwood.
Mm.
What's it like there? Is it nice?
Yeah.
Said to me, mate. He goes, yeah, it's nice there. College town.
Yeah.
I said, oh, okay, cool. I get the bus there. He's like,
The RTD, man.
I suppose so. And I was like, yeah. I said, what's wrong? You're English, don't you not get the bus? Nobody gets the bus. I'm like, but they do run, right? And I've been traveling all over India and all that shit. Me, man, I'm not fucking
You're just trying to
scared.
get there. Just take a bus.
Been on a bus in India, you get a bus in LA, no fucking problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It looks like luxury.
Yeah.
You don't have to share a seat with someone.
Yeah,
In India, you have to share your seat.
Share a
They
seat.
just start moving up on you. Like that. Come on. You got half a seat there.
The chicken's flying around.
Chickens, goats. Call the place. Hi. Larry Oakley. Annie Oakley's. You know Annie Oakley? Annie Get Your Gun Oakley's an American legend gun slinging woman, right?
Yeah.
She is, yeah. She's an institution from the 20s.
Annie Oakley.
Annie Oakley. Annie Get Your Gun.
Yeah.
She was like a Wild West show like Buffalo Bill.
Yeah.
Well, he was a descendant of hers. And this place is called Oakley's Barbershop. And it's still open to this day in Westwood. He was a Mormon from Utah. He was a nut job. And I should write a story about him alone.
Yeah.
Just him. I should just write a story about him. And the Gulf War was on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is 1991 now, right?
1990 this is.
Or 1990, yeah. The
Gulf
invasion of
War was
Kuwait.
on.
Invasion of Kuwait.
The World Cup was on.
Yeah.
On the fucking telly.
Yeah,
the World Cup 1990 was on.
Yeah.
And Oprah was on.
Yeah.
Right? And he wanted to watch Oprah so he could slag her off the whole time, this guy. And he called her all
Talk shit
kind of names and shit like that while he was like cutting people's hair. He was bad.
That bitch lying.
Oh, more than that. He was awful. But I got a job there. First phone call. He said, will you work for cash? And I was like, sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I put the phone down and I said to the guy, I got the job.
Yeah.
And he goes, what? I said, you told me I said, fucking got the job, first phone call. I said, have you ever tried getting a job on? He went, I said, how long have you been here? What's going on? You know what I mean? And there was an Irish guy staying in the house too. Proper fucking Irish guy, right? And he was really a homophobe, right? And we were living in Silver Lake. And I'd trick you, he'd like say to me, that place at the bottom of the hill there on Glendale, the Astros.
Astroburger.
Astroburger right there.
Yeah.
He'd say, you fancy coming for a burger? And I was like, nah, I'm good. And I know that he'd like say, I'll buy it. You know what I mean? Because he was like, didn't want to go in the place on his own.
Yeah.
He didn't ever want to go to any places on his own because those fags are looking at me. And all this. And I was like, they're not, mate.
No one's looking at you.
No one's looking at you, And, but he'd say, come on, I'll buy you a burger.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, go on then.
Yeah.
And then from there, I got fired from that job.
Mm-hmm. How long did you work there?
About 4 or 5 months or something. It was good.
Well, which is good because when you first get to
Get
LA,
the bus
you
to
got to get
work.
used to the culture, right? It takes a while. It's a different mentality.
Well, it was really
people,
interesting in there, you know. And
different types, right?
I didn't want to be a barber or anything anymore. I didn't want to do that, you know. I would have got my own business and made a lot of money at it if I'd have wanted to do it because all my friends did.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? But I just didn't want to be a
barber,
55-year-old hairdresser.
You
know, I just didn't want to be that. You know, I thought there was something else in there for me.
Sure, yeah.
And then I used to play football every weekend up in Beverly Hills in the park, and everybody was a director or somebody. Do you know what I mean? And you know, all kind of people used to turn up to that football game. Milli Vanilli would turn up.
No shit, you know, man.
All kind of people like, you know, Sex Pistols and Ian Asprey and The Fall. Everyone from England would end up at that little football game we had.
Right.
And my mate Dave, we'd set the goals up, me and him. And he got me a job he said to me, "Do you want to be a PA?" I was like, "Sure."
What's a PA?
I didn't say what's a PA.
You knew what?
I didn't know. No, I didn't.
Oh, no, you just say yes.
I said, "Sure." What is it? I said, "That means just doing whatever, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, it just means do whatever we say." I was like, "Yeah, sure. Count me in."
Yeah.
So that was it. Then I got a job as a PA, and it was a huge job.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was
What was a commercial, a video?
It was a music video.
Yeah,
Janet Jackson.
Yeah, man.
Herb Ritz.
Yeah.
Directing.
Herb Ritz, man.
Yeah. They were like, "Oh, you go and drive the motor home."
Yeah.
To me, that was my job. She said, "Can you drive a motor home?" I was like, "Sure." And I got there and I was like, "What the fuck?" You know. But I'd driven my bus around Australia in the middle of nowhere, so I felt all right, you know. Wasn't a motor home, but it was that. I'm like, I'm not going through any rivers or anything, am I? It was a bounder, just like in Breaking Bad. It was a bounder.
Yeah.
I was driving the bounder around.
Yeah.
That was... And that was my first day of work, like in the desert.
You're in Hollywood now.
And I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
They were all eating sushi, and it was like people in underwear going past you, you know, Herb Ritz style. You know, and that day, I was watching the art department, that day, and I seen them all doing something, and I was like, oh, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
It's like what my dad wanted.
Right.
But it's like fashion too.
Right.
It's the hybrid of them. And that day I recognized what I wanted.
Yeah.
So I started working on them that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like hiding their shit and finding it and stuff like that and all kinds of shit on them. You know what I mean?
Thanks, Regan.
Yeah. Has anybody seen the thing I just hid?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'll go find it. Yeah.
I'll find it. You know what I mean? I was like, I made them want me, and you know. Yeah. I was just. Yeah. It was that. It was like literally like joining the circus.
Yeah.
You know, it was like you arrive in the morning, you set it up, you do your thing, you pack it up, and you leave.
You break it down, you're out of there.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's never the same ever.
Yeah, that's fun about that
it's
stuff.
It's never the same ever. And no, you can take yourself way too seriously.
Right.
Or you can enjoy this thing that you've done.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what happened to me. I got there that day and I was like, oh my God, this thing is like exactly what I've ever wanted in my life, you know? And it was like a dream.
Yeah.
Dream, a legal immigrant. Yeah. At this point, I didn't even think about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, tourist visa or something at the time or something.
Yeah, 3-month visa. Yeah.
Even from England.
It even gone 6-month visa. I think I can't remember. Yeah.
And back then you could get extensions for like $75.
I didn't know about all that.
I found that out too late.
Yeah, we were. The English community were like, you know, just go and get yourself a social security number and we'll give you one.
Federal building, Westwood. That's where I got mine too.
You just go and ask for one.
I went back 3 times because they weren't supposed to give one to me.
You needed to talk to the English about it before you went because all you needed to tell them was that you needed to open a bank account.
Ah, okay.
And then they would.
I forget what I came up with.
Yeah,
but eventually I got one.
You have to say, oh, and they say, why are you opening a bank account? You say, oh, because I'm having some money sent over.
Right, exactly.
Like, okay, great. There you go.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Money.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're spending money in America? There you go. You can.
Oh, they like that. Yeah. That's.
And then with that, you could go and get a driving license. You could stay and just be an immigrant. And I wasn't hurting nobody.
Right. Exactly.
You know,
You're here with goodwill, with enthusiasm.
Then I had my dream that I wanted. I wanted this thing.
Yeah. So you're on set and you see the art department. You're like, I'm gonna end up over there somehow. I'm gonna
end up over there. I didn't think I was gonna be an art director.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm gonna be that. That's what I'm gonna do because I have a lot of information about a lot of weird things.
Right.
And they're all smoking weed. They're all fucking full of paint. They're all, you know what I mean? It was. I was like, oh, my tribe.
Yeah.
You know. So that was it, and took about 4 jobs on the. I took about 4 jobs as a PA for me to get into the art department, And one day, the producer said to me, she goes, "You know, you get very dirty."
Mm.
And I went, "I've been working."
Yeah.
She goes, "What? Why? What do you mean?"
Uh-huh.
We don't. She was like, I remember Agnes B.
Yeah.
She was Agnes B, flawless.
Yeah.
Flawless.
Yeah.
You know, from head to toe.
Smelling like $1,000,000.
Beverly Hills,
Right.
Swedish.
Where's
with
my
an English
chiffon?
accent. Swedish with a weird English accent. Amazing. You know. Superwoman, America, her Brits.
Yeah.
Fashion. It was like Vidal
Style,
Sassoon
yeah.
again. It was the same
Right.
people.
Right.
You know, the same pretentious but talented people. Maybe not. I
And
take
she's
that
like,
back.
what-
I take
what-
that back. She was amazing, actually.
And
And
she's like, "Why are you working, man?"
I said, I've
Why
been
are
with
you
the art
laboring
department.
here? Yeah.
I said, "Why did you get dirty?" I said, I just thought this bag fell. I don't know. Stuff happened. She goes, "Go and change your shirt." I was like, she goes, "Go and buy a t-shirt at the store. You can't walk around like." I was like, "All right, cool." So then when I came back, I said, I like it with the art department. She goes, "Well, we'll join them then. Just join them then."
Yeah.
And I was like, "But they don't want me." And she goes, "I've been trying to join them, but they don't want me." You know what I mean? And she was like, "Well, all right, I'll talk to them for you." And I was like, "All right, great." You know, she like hooked me up.
Yeah.
Right.
And then,
That's
and
cool.
then my thing was making tea.
Yeah. You
Then
did.
it was
I
making
remember
tea.
that story. Yeah.
Because I used to say to people, "Can I help you?"
Yeah.
And they'd say, "No, we're
Yeah.
good." And I'd say, "Surely there's something I can do."
Yeah.
I'm trying to help. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I like
don't
that.
deny me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm here.
Like, because when I saw that I wanted it, I wanted it.
Yeah.
It's like, don't deny me. So yeah, and then I was like,
So you started
how
making
about,
tea?
I said, "How about a cup of tea made by an Englishman,
Yeah.
English style?" I used to tell them that, which is milk and sugar. You know what I mean?
Got 'em.
Strong milk and sugar.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh," I'm like, "Yeah," or Indian style.
Yeah.
I used to just make it up. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I'd tell them all these different
Who can
styles.
say no to a cup of tea?
That's what I was trying to say, you know? And then, and then...
So then you fell in
then
good
I'm on
graces.
and then I'm on a job, right?
And
I
it's a
get
way.
called to a job. I didn't know what job was. Can you come in and start painting?
Yeah.
You know, I told people I was a painter because
Yeah.
I definitely wasn't a carpenter
Yeah.
because that was actually hard.
Yeah.
Painting,
That's difficult to do.
slap
Yeah.
that shit up
Anyone
and
can-
move it
yeah.
around. Not anyone, but you know, my dad had trained me pretty good about how to do things straight and all that. You know what I
Right.
mean? How to look like you know what you're doing at
Right.
least. And yeah, I mean, if you know, in our house, if you know, you got to be able to plaster, you got to be able to paint, you got to be able to do things. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right,
Or else
right.
you know, and I tried my best to think. My dad, I was of special needs. You know what I mean? I tried my best to make him think that I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'd hold the hammer a little bit gay just
Yeah.
to set him off. Like, you know what I mean? I'd hold it high on the stem like that because my dad was super dynamic with his hammer. You know what I mean? It was like crack, 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 crack. You know, like he'd be hammering in these nails, and I'd be like,
Limp
I'd be like
wristed,
this.
holding a hammer.
"Is this right, Dad?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Put the fucking hammer down." You know. Oh, just
No son
I
of
wish I
mine.
did-
Yeah.
He was pretty shocked when I turned out to be an art director, and he
Yeah.
couldn't figure it out. How? He
Yeah,
couldn't-
yeah.
And he's like, "How did you?" I'm like, "It's American, man."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you say you are, and then you are.
Yeah,
and then you have to
yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
I said, "You can't fail more than a couple of times before they'll stop you, by the way." They're not going to reward failure. They're only going to reward success.
Yeah.
That's a cool way to look at it. I like that.
That's
Yeah.
the truth, though.
It's the truth. Yeah.
It's the truth. I can't say it's for everybody.
Yeah.
I can only say it's for people who go and get it.
Yeah. You got to.
You got to get it.
When you
doesn't
say
matter
when-
who you are, you say it.
When you
You
say I
proclaim it
am,
forward.
you'll get shots, but then you got to deliver.
You got to deliver.
You got to deliver.
Deliver.
You can say
We're
whatever
on
you
a
want.
delivery thing. Yeah, you can say what you want. And then I realized that nobody on this set had any qualifications in anything.
Yeah. They were all pulling
They
that
were
same
all
move.
fucking
yeah.
pulling the same moves. You know what I mean? On different
Touche.
levels. You know what I mean?
Touche.
It was all on a different level.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and I was
Everyone's
like,
figuring
oh,
it out. Yeah.
oh yeah, all right. And I was thinking, oh fuck me, I could probably be a director if I wanted to. You know what I mean? Why not at this
That's
point?
true. It's all
Why not?
about-
I mean, I have directed things.
It's
You
all
know what
about
I mean?
execution.
I'm the director of my life.
Yeah.
Seriously. Once I figured that out, that it's all about execution. That's all anyone cares
It's a
about.
process. You know what I mean?
If
It's
you
like
could
it's like
deliver what you said.
when
Deliver
you
and
make- when you
over-deliver
make- When
is
you make
important.
something, you think about it.
Right.
You know, you think about the materials. You start to plan it. You know what I mean? And it's a process. It's a start, a middle, and an end. Like every good story, you know,
Yeah.
has those things. You know, and you know, in a country like America, it's hard to explain. People think you're bullshitting when you tell them that. Yeah, you can do things here. You know, you can
really
transcend here.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
There's
you
a-
definitely can't if you say you can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You told yourself that there's no chance, then that's what
it's
you're
not
going to
gonna
get
happen.
exactly that. You know,
But there's less barriers to doing what it is you feel you want to do. There really is.
well, you know, we're both from Europe.
Yeah.
I'm barely from Europe. I'm English.
Yeah.
1 foot in, 1 foot out, Europe.
Considering the latest.
Yeah. But they never were a part of it, I thought.
Right.
The continental lifestyle.
Yeah.
We're a little island. Pirate island.
Yeah.
That's what I call it. Fucking pirate island.
Yeah.
Full of pirates.
Mm.
Dodgy teeth.
Dodgy teeth. Skyline of Manhattan in every mouth.
No. What did I say to someone? I said, you got a mouth that looks like Stonehenge. On a good day. On a good day.
Yeah, there's some teeth out there, boy.
Teeth all over Europe, bro.
Man,
Don't kid yourself. The French have got some fucking weird choppers. And they've got the like bad odor shit. Bad.
It's funny when you haven't gone to Europe in a while, then you go to
You're like, yo, has no one heard about deodorant in Paris?
Yeah,
What's wrong
not
with
only
these
that, but you just turn
motherfuckers?
on-
Let me get upstream of him. You know what I mean?
you turn on the television, and we're used to a certain presentation level in the States, and you see some faces and some characters and some you know, on TV there.
Yeah, but you also see some weird shit here, like weird erectile dysfunction shit that you don't see there, and drug commercial that make
Restless leg
Europeans-
syndrome. I think I got that one.
Yeah, but Europeans are like, what? They're advertising drugs.
Yeah, that's
You can
illegal
go to
in
the
Europe, yeah.
doctor and tell him what you've got, and get what you asked for.
Yeah.
I've seen it on TV. I got it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Give me
some
right,
pills,
You're
man.
right. You're right.
My leg's twitching. Hook it up.
And I got a job and then in the art department, and my first art department job was losing my religion.
REM.
REM.
You worked on a video.
Yeah,
No
I got
shit.
called in.
That was your first gig.
I got called in.
Jesus,
right?
It's a classic.
And
Classic.
I was like watching this process, right? And this guy, the art director, Jose Montano,
Mhm.
he was fun. He was a good guy, you know. And I told him that I really wanted it, you know. And you know, and yeah, I was in. I had a chance. And
Yeah.
there was this the boss was this guy, posh English guy, or the coordinator guy who I had to deal with, you know, and he was like running mad game. You know, he was running mad game. He was on one. He was fucking on another level, like mad coke parties at the weekends and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Regan, would you mind losing $800 in your PC for me? You know what I mean? And I'm like, break me off and I will, yeah. I'm like, no, what if you don't? You know, he's like, you thief. Telling me I'm a thief. I'm like, you just fucking do it yourself then. You know? He goes, no, I got caught.
Yeah.
I'm like, right, so you're not good at it. You're not even good at it.
Lose 800 for me.
Yeah.
At a party. That's amazing.
He was a character.
Yeah, that was a huge
But he
video. man.
showed me exactly how not to do it.
Right.
He was like imposing all this English shit onto Americans.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Yeah, too
You know,
stiff
and all
and
this
shit.
shit.
Yeah,
And they were
yeah.
like, fuck you, buddy. You know what I mean? How dare you? I'll knock you the fuck out. I was telling you what I mean? It's like, how very dare you? He's telling people, you know, it's like, I'm like, man.
Yeah. What era did you crawl
This
up?
was at Max Sennett Studios, right
Yeah.
there in Silver Lake.
Yeah.
Which was like, you know, Harold Lloyd, all the old days we were in the studio, you know,
Yeah.
in that old studio.
But
I went in there the other day for a party with Neely.
Yeah.
And I was in this place and I felt the energy so strong, man. And there's a little area in the back where there used to be a little shop, and it's beautiful. It's all this old wood and it's in a triangle. It's called Triangle Stages.
Yeah, I've been to a few
right there.
parties here, yeah.
Yeah, but
It's an event space.
that's where, you know, I was in there every day.
Yeah.
You know, and it's got this mad energy in there. And, you know, and you could feel like a energy. You
Yeah.
know?
Those days were crazy because music video budgets back then were like $1 million, $2 million regularly, right?
No, not at that point.
Not at that point.
Not
yet.
at that point.
Not then.
No. The big ones, yeah.
Yeah.
But Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
all those ones,
Yeah.
500,000, million.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it hadn't got the competition on the biggest video.
Hadn't happened
Hadn't
yet.
started yet.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
I started right then.
Yeah.
That's
Wow,
when
you
that's when I
in-
got in right at the very beginning.
That's
I
when-
didn't know. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Oh, that shit was gonna happen.
And then you just.
But what?
Yeah.
So I get called into this job. You know, they were overwhelmed, so they were looking for people. So I came in on that day, and I'm like, shit. And I was watching the painters and I was watching these people and I was like, oh, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm just gonna work my fucking ass off here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I am, I'm a bit of a game player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm a hard worker also.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For
And
sure.
I don't want to die of hard work.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't mind hard work. I don't love it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need to compete with other people on how hard you can work.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? For somebody else.
Yeah.
This is, so.
Right.
My dad died of hard work.
Mm.
And it pissed me off.
Yeah.
And he expired
Mm.
exactly when he was supposed to by the system, 65.
Yeah.
Boom, gone.
Too young.
Not even got nothing out of it. None of the rest that he was.
Right. None of the
he wasn't arrested anyway.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But, and then the song is like, that was me in the corner.
Yeah.
Well, that was me in the corner.
That's me in the spotlight.
No, I was behind the back there, right?
Yeah.
And I've got a Hudson sprayer.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the water gag on the window this with a Hudson sprayer, right? Special effects now, you know what I mean? I'm like,
scenic stuff.
And they're like, I said, oh, that's how you do it?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I was like, oh, wow, okay, cool. So you just
That's a spray with the hand pump. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I remember that
on
one.
spritz, and I was like,
Yeah. Oh yeah,
and I'm like this, and it's on the window.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, right. So I was like, wow, this is how you do it. Everything's fake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everything's
scenic.
fucking fake. No, special effects, really.
Special effects. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an effect. You know.
Yeah.
It's like every time I hear that song, and it's like, that was me in the corner.
And
I'm like,
literally
no,
you in the corner.
me in the corner. I'm on the back like this. And then I was hooked. I was hooked from that point on. I was like, put me on. And I work for some, all of the crew that I work with, they're all production designers now.
Yeah.
They're all like, very talented group of people. And, and then one day I became the lead man, which was really stressful because all of a sudden.
What does lead man mean?
You're like somewhat running the art department.
But not as an art director, but
no, you're the like
as the hands-on.
You're picking up the props, you're getting them back, you're dealing with, you're like third in line.
Right.
There's the art director. There's a designer, art director, and then there's the coordinator, and then there's lead man, then there's prop master,
right,
set decorator.
Yeah,
all the three are the same.
Right,
lead man, prop man, set decorator. They're all about equal. Yeah, it's equal pay kind of thing.
Right.
And so I became that job, even though I really didn't know what I was doing, but they didn't either. So
no one
didn't
found
really
out.
Matter. So it's just like, as long as the shit turned up and went back, then everyone was
as long as the results are what
I learned a lot, I learned a lot there right then. And then one day this couple of people were like, oh, do you want to art direct? A couple of people, I was like, I don't really know how to.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, come on, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I was like,
handing it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man,
really?
that's awesome.
I'm like, but you do know I don't know what I'm doing, right? Just so you know.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you can't say that again.
Yeah.
I was like, I know, but
at least not in front of the clients.
I'm like,
right.
I know, but I just want you to know that I'm not an art director. You know what I mean? Right. I tried to talk them out of it, basically. Again, it's not having an agenda again, kind of, Right. And then, yeah.
And what was that gig? What was the art direction gig? Because that's a big step.
It was a video.
That's a huge step, right? A lot of people work 6, 7, 8 years to get to that position.
A lot of people never gonna get it,
or never gonna get it.
Never gonna get it. Yeah,
so all of a sudden it lands on your lap.
Personality based,
right? Because once you get there once, you can probably get there another time.
I don't even know what that job was called. I really
was another video.
It was a video. Yeah, the director was Kevin Kerslake, and this producer, Swedish girl Lena Postmeyer. She gave me. I don't know what the job was called, but I had to get some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. To get I had to get an armoire, which I didn't know what a fucking armoire was. You know what I mean? Because we don't call them that in England.
Right.
I'm like,
what do you call
again?
It?
Yeah, you call it a wardrobe.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Pants,
we didn't have armoires in my world, and we didn't have sconces.
Yeah.
We had wall lights.
Wall lights, yeah.
Stuff like that. Get 2 sconces. I'm like, again.
You come back with muffins.
That? Yeah, 2 sconces. You want raisins in your scones? You want butter?
Yeah.
You want it buttered?
Splash
that's
it.
a funny story.
Yeah.
My mate one time, we were on a big L'Oreal job, you know, and they said to the fucking PA, here's $1,000. Go to Barney's and get $1,000 fucking gift certificate. Right? So fucking guys, 4 hours later, he's still not back. You know what I mean? And they're like calling whatever. Goes like, come on. He calls up. He goes, don't worry, I got it. They're like, okay. You know, because I got so many things going on. I got it. I'm like, okay, great. Well, get back here. You know, you should have been back here fucking hours ago. What's wrong with you? He comes back. He's like, oh man, I had to convince him to do that. And the guy's like, what are you talking about? You had to convince what? Who? What? He goes, guy at Barney's Beanery.
Oh, I knew it. Jesus Christ.
He goes, he'd never heard of that before.
Which is a bar for
$1,000.
anyone that's listening. So you got $1,000 bar tab gift certificate. Unbelievable. What a guy.
He thought he was going to Barney's of New York. He went to Barney's Beanery
Which is
instead,
department
you know
store,
what I
right?
mean?
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, he's like, you're fired.
Fuck it, I'm gonna take this gift certificate.
You're
Hey,
right.
have a rap party in there. Don't be tight. You know what I mean?
Fantastic, man. That's fucking bananas. And then we get to the era, and I've been really...
No, but then I got a job as a music videos, and I was addicted. I couldn't sleep.
Yeah, that's excitement.
I couldn't find it. I couldn't find a way. I couldn't think about nothing else.
That's nice.
I couldn't think about nothing.
That's a great sign right there.
I couldn't think about nothing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, these jobs just started coming.
Yeah, amazing.
You know? I was like, whoa. And then English friend of mine, Nick Egan, you know, he's like, yeah, I got this job, Tony video.
Yeah.
You know, and I've always loved soul
Tony
music.
Tone, yeah.
Tone has done it again, yeah.
Yeah.
It's your anniversary.
It's my jam.
Yeah.
I
A
lost my
small
virginity.
cup of tea, then you can have me. What a line. I was like, hey, I got some tea on this
I
one.
lost my virginity to that song.
Really?
No.
I thought you were still a virgin.
Well, in some ways.
In a male way.
Got him. Got him.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and I had to build this big set.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was great. It was great, except the production team lied to me.
About what?
About money.
Uh-huh.
And I came in on budget. I did the job for like 25 grand. And I did every job myself. You know what I mean? I was sanding the floors, picking up the walls. It was like moving walls. It was complicated for me. It was very complicated. Really tall walls on wheels and stuff like that. I fucking could kill everyone. You know what I mean? Fall over. It was like 16-foot walls and shit,
Jesus,
you know?
Yeah.
And and then when I got there to production, she goes to me, wow, you came in under budget. And I was like, what? She goes, oh, you had 30 grand. But she told me I had 25. And I didn't want to go back and ask for it, even though I needed it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. She goes, oh, great. And I was like, oh, okay. Fucking liars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Because they assumed you were going to go over budget, so they padded it.
No, they just
in
took
the
it
negative.
off.
Right.
They took it off and put me under
But you made
pressure.
it
I didn't
happen.
understand because I wasn't experienced in these things.
Right.
Because it's actually a business management thing.
Right,
It's
it
not
is.
just art direction.
Right.
It's
Right.
art and commerce.
Right.
That's what it actually is.
Right.
And if you get either one of them wrong, you're
Right.
out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you do a great job and you go wildly over budget, you're out.
Yeah.
There's only one thing coming in under budget. That's
Right.
the only one thing that gets you an above credit other than doing a good job,
Exactly. Yeah.
which they love. coming
Yeah.
in under budget.
Yeah.
They love that shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's their,
Yeah. And
because it's a business.
and producers pocket
artistic-
that difference.
And
half
it's
the time.
artistic business. Yeah.
Yeah. And agencies do the same thing, and you know,
And it's a business,
yeah,
you
and
know.
everyone's
and
a rental, and you know,
everything
let's
in
get it,
LA is an extra
right,
in a location. The
Right.
whole place is a location,
Right.
and everyone's an extra in it.
right.
And I think that's what gives the vibe of the city in a way. You know what I mean? Because we all know we're extras.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone's filming you all the time now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I was at the game yesterday, LAFC game.
Mm-hmm.
LA FC. It's fucking dope there, by the way.
Uh-huh.
But I was like looking at everybody. I was like, wow, I'm in a million fucking videos of other people's right now. You know what I mean? Like, fuck.
Background props on all
Yeah,
other things.
fuck off. Stop
Yeah.
filming me.
Yeah. I want to see
putting emojis all over me and shit with beards and shit like that. I'm like, what are you doing? Mexican mustaches and all that, you know, like Mexican hats on at the game and all this shit. Yeah, I was addicted, man, badly.
Yeah. Yeah, because then you see the final thing. It's like, wow, I did that with that, and it looks like this. This is fucking amazing, right?
And my girlfriend at the time, Laura Newman, she was a producer, you know, so she explained how the whole thing works to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the actual explanation.
Right.
Someone sat down and broke it all down for me. You know
what was the bigger picture?
And the
here,
budget.
Yeah.
She broke down the budget for me. So she'd show me how to do that. So it's like,
nice.
I never had that, you know, so she could say, oh, this is how you'd split it up and this is for that.
Yeah, because you can get a gig.
60-40. I mean, it's always still the same to this day. It's
Right.
usually 60-40.
Yeah.
60% labor and 40% materials.
Right.
Always works out that way for some weird reason.
Right. Yeah, these are all steps to understand the whole bigger picture.
Again, it's a self-taught thing. You
As
know?
you
like
grow.
I had no actual official education
Right.
in anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hairdressing,
Yeah.
which sets you up for so many things in life.
Yeah.
It teaches you how to be a great salesman.
Right.
Teaches you confidence.
Right. Because you're dealing with people all the
Style.
time.
Client service.
Pretty
all of that.
bold moves you're making on some of their fucking hair.
Yeah, and you're
especially at Vidal Sassoon, you were fucking up their shit. You know what I mean? Like, I had a lot of people. You know, you have people crying on you leaving there. You know, you're like, sorry, you came to Vidal Sassoon. What do you want?
Yeah.
So
you got a fucked up haircut. You know what I mean?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So as a director, your job is to bring the artist's vision to life.
I'm a production designer.
Production designer.
Right, but I'm the art director.
The art director. Okay.
Yeah.
So your job is to bring everything.
Yeah, you know, like you look at. I just did a bunch of Geico commercials.
Okay.
Last week, which was amazing, and they're the standard of advertising around here. You know what I mean? Like if they don't make you laugh, you don't buy that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Their thing.
Their thing is like nonstop advertising, and they're good at it.
Yeah.
And you know, so you're there to deliver the boards, expand on them or not.
And by the boards, you mean storyboards.
Storyboards.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. So they make up the story.
Okay.
They find a director to figure it out for them, budget it.
Right.
Then the director, the company gets a crew together to do that. You know, so then I'm the art director. So anything you see, if it's not there, I have to make it there.
Got you.
So it might go to a place where it's already there, and then you enhance it with stuff.
Right. Or take things away.
Take things away, special effects.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's
vehicles.
Yeah, whatever's on the screen, he has to
there's
approve
a big
of
thing,
or create. Right.
There's a big thing with us. You know, like when we're talking to other crew members, so if you can't see it, it's not us. Right. So the other day we were like, you can't see that.
Yeah.
You got to put the water platform in the pool.
Yeah,
like, but I'm like, you got to do it. You know, you want a light on it, you got to do it. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, because it's like if you see lights now, lighting is internal now to the sets all the time. So if you see it now, it's fucking us. You know what I mean? It's like pain in the ass. I'm like, I'm an electrician all of a sudden now. You know, if it's a visual in the background, we got to do it.
Right.
We just did a whole Tron thing for a video game console, and we had to make a frame, and then we had to put Tron lights, all LED strips all the way around it.
Right.
It was all us, you know, and it was like it's like an education in and of itself, you know.
Yeah.
Now I gotta every day is a learning curve. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Every day is it's a little bit like yoga. There's no finish. There's no finish line.
There's no graduation.
There's no. It's over now.
Yeah,
You're done. You know what I mean? It's like stop. It never stops. You know.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I can see how that could be extremely fun and addicting. Creating
it was stressful, but I think it was more me than it. Do you know what I mean? I think that again, when your expectations change and you maybe think you're something, maybe you're not, or you're confused by that, maybe. We're all struggling. We've all struggled with that. You know, who we are. What are you doing here? You know, experimenting with power. I called that. At one point, that's what I called that period. You know, I coined that for a minute, and it was a, you know, rough time because it's not genuine.
Yeah.
You know, you're experimenting. You don't know. You know, and it's like I'm the boss.
Yeah.
Hey.
Or am I, right?
No, I am.
yeah.
Fucking A. You know what I mean? Fucking A. One guy tells me I've just started, right? This one guy starts with me one day, you know, he's like, we know that you don't know what you're doing. Call me out.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah, well, you're fired.
Yeah.
And he went, he was the main guy. I went, you're fired. Fuck off.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Fuck off. You know? I said,
Got him.
don't ever fucking talk to me like that, mate.
Yeah.
I said, and do you want to kick up the ass now as well on the way out?
Yeah.
You cheeky cunt. You know what I mean? You know, and I was like, then I start taking it all Manchester. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All up in that. I'm like, you gonna fucking front me like that in front of people?
Yeah.
That was
You
the
can't
fuck
do
outta
that.
here.
Can't do that. Can't
You know,
do
and then he's like, I'm sorry.
that. Yeah.
And I was like,
Too
you
late.
fucking pussy as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, you want to stay here? You know what I'm going to do to you
Yeah.
if you stay?
Yeah. I'm gonna torture
Fuck
you.
with you.
Yeah.
And he's like, I said, you want to stay?
Uh-huh.
He's like, yeah. And I was like, all right,
Yeah.
stay there.
You let him stay?
Yeah, let him stay.
No shit.
Yeah, I was
That
like,
was cool,
fuck
though.
with me one more time, bitch.
I bet he never did that again.
Hell no. And then he comes after me. He's like, we just, you know, you're inexperienced. I was like, you fucking call me out.
Yeah.
Fucking call me out.
Yeah.
You're right.
But don't ever fucking
Don't
call
ever
me.
fuck with me
yeah,
again.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But I never told anyone who knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah. They assume.
I never actually told anybody anything.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
stuff, you know? And then I got to work on Sabotage.
Yeah, the
Now, all of a
Beastie Boys
sudden-
video. You worked on
Beast-
Sabotage.
Yeah,
that's
I
right.
was the art
Yeah.
director on Sabotage.
Was that Spike Jones?
Spike Jones.
Spike Jones
and-
Sabotage. That was a
Another
video.
classic, bro. Another classic.
Wow,
And,
we're gonna get to some shit now.
And then, you know,
Jesus Christ, Reed.
he did some number on me, man.
Who,
some
Spike did?
psychological fucking warfare.
In
that
a good
guy.
way or a bad way?
Stuff I'll never forget, you know. Like he said at one
Beastie
point,
Boys.
he said, Spike's really worried about this video looking too good.
Uh-huh. Really?
So he's going to reduce the budget.
Mm. Wow. Interesting.
I was like, okay, maybe I could get paid. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I had to, we get, okay, I'll do it.
Oh, that's right, because they had like a vintage
They wanted it to look
vibe.
shit.
Yeah.
Like a high 8 vibe almost, yeah?
Yeah, they wanted to
Yeah.
look like just a, you know.
Like a skate video.
It's just reverse psychology. He's a genius.
Yeah.
I didn't know then. You know, he's like sleight
Yeah.
of hand.
Right.
He threw himself down a set of stairs one day.
No shit.
Yeah, and did like, everyone was like, Spikes, ah!
Yeah.
You know, and he's just fucking around with people.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
he's doing something, he like mesmerizes you.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck are you doing with your hand right
Yeah,
now?
yeah,
man?
yeah. No shit.
So
Little rascal.
smart.
Yeah.
So smart.
Yeah.
Like a trickster,
Right.
mind
Right.
manipulator.
Yeah, he came out of the skateboarding world. Did
Sure he did.
a lot of great videos that influenced my life completely.
Oh, he did. I'd love
Oh,
to see a
yeah.
skateboard
he was-
video.
Wow, yeah. Video Days was one. That was sort
What's
of
that
like,
magazine he had?
well, he was a contributor to Big Brother magazine.
Big
which
Brother.
Is Larry
I
Flint
had the Bong
Productions.
Olympics at Art
That's
Space.
right. The Bong Olympics.
Bong Olympics at
Okay,
Art Space.
This is only for certain listeners. So there was this magazine published by Larry Flint
Mm-hmm.
called Big Brother. My first roommate in the U.S. was a writer for it, and I think in 1992 or something, or 3 or 4 or 5, I forget what it
Cool.
was. There was the Bong Olympics. So your shop, which later
My
became my
studio.
studio, we'll get to that, was cleared out, and they had the Bong Olympics.
Well, I was getting it straight. I had this amazing place.
They're like 10,000 square foot, proper.
No, that was like 5. That
Or
one,
5.
originally at the back, just on its own.
Yeah, plus Empire in the front.
I didn't have that then.
Yeah.
But I had this place, and it was like a place to learn how to know what I was doing.
Yeah.
That's why I got it.
Yeah.
So I started doing it myself, and I would learn how to do it.
Mm.
And no one could tell me anymore that I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
So it's like learning in reverse,
Yeah.
which is my whole life has been learning in reverse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm going to end up really fucking smart or really empty at the end, you know, like I'm unlearned. And yeah, the studio, and, you know, we had parties in there and stuff to make the rent every now
Right.
and again. Yeah, we had a couple of mad parties in there.
Mm.
Shit, one lasted for like 3 days.
Yeah, those are the
Every time I turned the music off, I'd come back and they'd just have it back on again, you know. Leave and then just turn it back on when I left. You know, through the day, the whole
Wow.
day, night, like, just turned into like this week, the whole weekend this place was going off.
Yeah.
And So yeah, I rented them out to. I rented the place out to these people, the Bong Olympics.
The Bong
They built a bunch of ramps in there. We had some.
That was big. I was in Europe and I saw.
Yeah, we had some ramps. We had some what they called what you have at stadiums.
Yeah,
These seating areas.
yeah. And it's like who can do the longest bong rip, the most intake,
the girls in
the biggest plume.
Oh,
There's just chicks there. The whole
And then
skateboarding
they had
world
the
is there.
ramps. They're all going for it and all that, and they all
was
forgot what they
huge.
were doing for a while.
No.
Everyone forgot what the rules were.
There's pictures of these Bong Olympics, and the whole huge room. It's like a big warehouse. It's like
Let's have a look if there's anything online of it. Right,
and it's like clouds of smoke. Everyone huffing and puffing, and you know, this is
This
before
like
anything was
once
legal.
a year. You just have these like
Just
bong-
one time.
just one
It was
time.
just an idea. Like
Oh,
Big
okay.
Brother came up with a lot of crazy, like far out ideas
I like that.
that spawned Jackass and all that stuff later. So this was like an early idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great stuff.
Yeah, and I had that, and it was mad.
Spike did Lips documentary.
I
I love to
love
hear
Fallon's
about
documentary, yeah.
sabotage. That's amazing. A
Yeah.
little bit more like what actually went into that. Can you obviously?
Oh my God, there's footage of it happening right here online.
Yeah.
Bong Olympics '94. There's a studio right there.
Yeah.
Just look at that shit. Dude, that's amazing, isn't it? Fucking
Oh, look at that. That's outside.
Hey, what can your listeners Google to see that?
Bong Olympics.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
Google
Big-
Bong-
Big Brother,
Bong
Bong
Olympics.
Olympics,
Bong
94.
Olympics '94.
I'm on it.
Wow.
I met some fucking hot chicks in there
Wow.
too. Yeah, it was a good night all around.
Man,
It was
that's
a
art
great
space,
day.
man.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh man, it was
Clyde
reckless.
Singleton, Quim Cordona, I think.
I was thinking about the insurance ramifications the other day.
Wow. You got a bunch of underage kids smoking bongs.
Yeah.
Might as well throw- I'm
You
like-
know what though? I don't know if I don't know if any skateboarders ever sued anybody. I don't know if that's. I don't think that's.
They're not litigious.
But you know, like you throw your body around like this all the time, you know, against the odds, and you see them fucking bite shit on the sidewalk and all that, and it's like they're just not the suing type, you know. They're already reckless in their own.
Of course, yeah.
It's a pursuit too, right?
Mhm.
It's an existential pursuit, stroke mode of transportation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's
Well,
like
well,
a
well,
high you're looking for.
Well, the getting
fucking-
around is it's a byproduct of wanting to learn the tricks and having style and doing all those
Sure.
things, you know. And it takes you, you know, but we don't look at it as a bicycle, you know.
Sure. I mean, it happened when I was a kid, but I never, you know, well, the culture wasn't that strong in
Right.
England and all that, you know. But
Right.
my friends were really into it, but
Mm.
I don't know. I had other interests.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Making
just-
money.
it's
That was
magic.
my main
Yeah,
interest.
that's cool. So now you're really in it. You're
Now
working
I'm
with a young
addicted,
Spike.
now I'm addicted to production designing,
Oh.
art directing, and I want it. And now the MTV period is in full swing,
Yep.
Boom.
and it was like
Early 90s.
It was like a place called Propaganda,
Mm-hmm.
which was the main place where it was like a big production house, and pretty much all the big jobs went through Propaganda.
I did a few jobs with propaganda.
Yeah,
I remember
and
the VHS tapes.
You'd be able to go from station to station looking for a job.
Yeah.
I used to just walk around. Hey, give us a job.
Yeah.
I could do that. They're like, I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
I
Propaganda.
was like,
is that
but you
a-
got that.
Propaganda films. They did a lot of commercials and
Yeah,
videos back then.
Fincher came
Yeah.
out of Propaganda.
Yeah.
Mark Romanek came out of Propaganda.
Diane Martel.
No, I don't think so.
I think she was.
She
Yeah, I
was.
think I did a thing with
Spike
her.
was at Propaganda.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
everybody was at Propaganda, and it was like,
And then it became the Directors Bureau or something after.
no,
that.
it's
That's later though.
Propaganda turned into Anonymous.
Or Anonymous.
Yeah, it turned into Anonymous. Yeah,
Yeah,
anonymous content.
Right. I have a
They
friend
had
that's a
two. They
producer
had
there.
two really bad uninsured helicopter crashes. Back
No
in
shit.
yeah, and
Mm.
and they sort of got shut down pretty.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, I think one of them they killed the whole crew
Yeah.
in a helicopter.
No shit, man.
They didn't have
Yeah,
insurance.
and the insurance was.
Mm.
I mean, I don't. Maybe that's a myth. Who
No.
knows? There's a lot knocking about.
No.
but-
And so,
lot of
but
myths knocking
as you know, at
But
thi-
then-
at this time you were executing director's vision, but you weren't coming up with your own full vision yet of what Reeg wanted to say, right?
No, you're sharing it.
You're sharing it.
You're in a shared
yeah,
vision. You know what I mean? You're trying to extend their vision,
right?
and hopefully they pick the right person who has a vision
Mhm.
for them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? I can't say that would have been me at the time
Right.
because I didn't really have a reputation in the game at all. So
you just executed
my thing was what they wanted,
right?
Making them happy.
Yeah.
Made me happy,
right?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And learning along the way, you know what I mean? Like, just learning how to do things along the way. And I've always been able to ask everybody,
Yeah.
I've always been able to communicate with people and say, can you explain this to me, please?
Yeah.
I'm not too ashamed to not know.
Which is number one, because there was a period in my life where I didn't ask and I acted like I knew, but then everyone loses and I lose.
You lose.
Right? Yeah, I lose.
Everyone doesn't lose. You lose.
When you don't know.
Just you.
Just you, man. But to say, I don't know,
Oh, yeah, that's just ego.
Yeah.
I have no problem saying that.
And there's something about looking the part and all that stuff. But
there's something about not doing that, though.
Right.
When you get a little bit older.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're like, wait a minute, I can relearn this if I want.
Yeah.
Now I've got to relearn to stay current, to stay contemporary. I have to invite all of the modernity into my life.
Right.
Now, you know what I mean? And it's really amazing.
And what's the way that you do that?
Having young people around.
Right. That's the only way.
Yeah. And they just load you up with what they can do.
Yeah.
And they can all do all this stuff.
Yeah.
I've got this couple assistants, Tanya and Hillary, and, they're like so fucking talented, I'm like, say something, boom, fucking Amazon, it's there the day after. You know what I mean? Get me, now it's all changed, now, going, if we don't have to go out driving, we don't.
Right. That
like,
saves half a day.
Get me 25 wristwatches.
Right.
2 days later, they're at your house.
Yeah.
You don't like them, send them back.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
you don't just
you pick through them, then you can take them to your boss. Which ones do you like? Oh, I like that one, that one, that one. Right, get rid of the rest. You take them all back.
The catalog is available of anything online right now.
Yeah. And I can't be mad at it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even though I know it's bad in its own way.
Right.
But anything that's good is bad in its own way. Like Amazon is bad for small businesses.
Right.
Yeah.
But fucking amazing for me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's like having a shop having a prop house at my beck and call.
Right.
You know what I mean? Anything I want, Amazon Prime. The dollar store just opened at the bottom of my street, right?
Mm-hmm.
My wife was so pissed. She's like, that could have been something amazing. I'm like, it is. It's a fucking prop house.
Yeah.
Full of I'm like, it's full of generic shit with no names on them.
Yeah.
That's our dream, you know what I mean?
Right.
Names are a problem for me.
Yeah, you got to block them out.
I'm in legal hell a lot of the times.
You get permission for that or something.
People are asking for clearances on pieces of furniture now.
Yeah.
I'm like, who should I call?
Yeah.
Who the fuck should I call? They're like, they want a clearance on an old Ford Bronco. And I'm like, should I call Mr. Ford?
Yeah.
Who the fuck you want me to call and get clearance for you?
It's gone down to prop level? When it's a designer prop or something, obviously.
Now we're putting it on there. We're sanctioning this product.
Right.
We have to be very clear about that now. You have to get them involved.
And
you have to act in emails. What do you want me to do about this?
Right.
How do you want to proceed with this?
Right.
These are your options.
Right.
Which ones do you like? Obviously, we'll Greek the name out.
Right.
They call it Greeking when you take the name out because...
Put tape on it or something. Or
they used to put Greek letters on because no one knew what they meant. That's where it comes from, Greeking.
Yeah,
It looks like Greek to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's all Greek to me.
Yeah. Interesting, yeah.
So, that's one thing that I hate now.
What? You got to get
the
clearance
legal
for everything.
thing,
I have to clear stuff all the time with murals and
prop
stuff
companies.
and all this sort of stuff, which I think it makes sense. Because I don't want to be affiliated with certain things, perhaps. So it
totally makes sense. It's the system.
But it's an interesting question, like how let's say I'm a product designer, I'm a vase designer or something, and all of a sudden that vase is on the table in the shot as you're panning by it, right? Do I as a vase? It's a weird word, I know. Do I vase or whatever? Vase. Do I want my product to be affiliated with this production? Who knows? So you have to clear it. You're saying?
Not a vase.
Not a vase.
No. But unless it's featured. A vase, maybe.
Yeah.
Unless, maybe if it's featured, like featured.
And what's considered featured is more than 2 seconds?
When you stop on it, and it's something, or it smashes or something, or you're doing something to it.
Then it becomes a hero.
You're making their product look unsafe.
That's a hero, right? When it's featured?
Yeah. There's all different legal terms for it. It's like, it's all these legal terms. And, basically,
let's say there's
you're going up against a giant corporation too. You'll never win.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest about it.
Right. Yeah.
You're gonna spin your wheels and you're gonna spend a bunch of money and you're gonna lose because they're bigger than you.
Yeah.
Who is?
Corporations.
The corporation you're gonna go up against. You know what I mean? If you
Regarding
try
what?
to sue somebody,
Go sue Starbucks.
goes.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
No,
Go.
sounds
Good
impossible.
luck.
Oh no, I've had great luck with
No,
that.
no. Well, you have because you're art. It's art, though.
Yeah.
You're doing art.
Yeah, but that's why I'm interested in
And
like
you're stopping in front of something,
right.
right? There might be a law that if you breeze past it,
Uh-huh.
you can't get nothing for
Yeah,
it.
there's a motion thing.
There's a motion thing.
Yeah,
If you stop on it and stay
Blur,
still,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, there's all kind of legal
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
you know. So
There's a second rule as well, 1 or 2 seconds.
when you drop your food on the floor,
Yeah, something like
5
that.
second
Second
rule.
rule.
I'll eat it no matter what. I'm an immigrant, but
Ooh.
that is.
Loves it.
I'll throw you on the floor just to make a point.
Sushi.
Just to keep myself.
I was gonna
fresh.
say a joke that was so dirty, but I'm not.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, that's interesting stuff because I wonder where it stops. You know, because obviously locations, there's you can
Location,
clear that,
location.
all that kind of thing.
Oh man. You know, there's a big prop house about to close, like an institution. Of
What's it called?
Omega Cinema Props.
Uh-huh.
And it's been there forever. And it's a sad, sad, sad day.
Uh,
You know, and the guy sold a building for like 50 million on Santa Monica Boulevard, you know.
Yeah.
not sad for him.
And it's sad for him. Yeah.
No.
But, you know, but it's sad for my wife. That's her job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this like incredible resource is closing, and they have, you know, you can go in there and say, give me a 1920s bedroom set. You know
Right.
what I mean? They've got it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like that.
It's amazing.
And it's all numbered and registered and broken down.
Yeah.
And put it in your truck and bring it back
Yeah.
the day out. You know?
And it's been in Edward Scissorhands.
And it's been in a million things.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, it's all glued back together again.
Yeah.
I think that's what we do. We break it and glue it all back together and take it back.
Yeah.
What happened to the props? Did they sell
Well,
it?
yeah, they're all trying to renegotiate into different collections all over
I got
town,
you.
or someone's thinking about buying the whole thing, and I don't know. It's
I love prop houses. There's one in
they're special.
It's just they're beautiful. I love them.
Yeah, it's a world.
Yeah.
I was mesmerized by them when
Yeah.
I first started going to them. Do you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
was like, wait, what? What? There's a whole section of, you know, Native American stuff right here. And then
Cuckoo
there's a bunch of
clocks. Yeah.
stuffed animals over here.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of model airplanes over here.
Crazy.
And
Those places, wardrobe places, like prop houses.
yeah.
Amazing worlds. There's energy there. It's been used. It's been rented out. You know, you've seen
Energy.
it, but you don't know that you've seen it.
Yeah,
You know?
gorilla
Amazing.
suits.
They're alive. Yeah,
and
gorilla
the
suits.
wardrobe places are similar.
Yeah.
Except I get my really like allergic in there.
Yeah, it's stuffy
This is
sometimes.
a
yeah.
lot
So
of
you want
really-
to like build a set from the 50s. You get the cars, you get the house, the clothing, the whole.
Yeah,
There's
you know,
different
you
departments, yeah.
probably do that in a location in LA. You
Oh,
know,
okay.
because LA's a location, and you know, there's so many different looks to LA.
Mhm.
You know, we have all these things here. And we have back lots.
Right.
We have, you know, you can do Europe in LA.
Mhm.
Not very well, but you
Yeah,
can do it.
yeah,
You know, it
yeah.
would look like a sort of American version of it.
Yeah, Universal Studio backlot over there. They got a European little
Yeah.
street, little corner.
Little Italian,
But you
number,
can
little
tell
French
it's
number.
not
Oh,
really the real
the little
thing.
No,
cafe.
of course.
Yeah, the little cafe.
Yeah,
spot.
Of course
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can.
yeah.
Of course
Yeah.
you can. Of course
Yeah.
you can tell.
We're
But
in
staying,
Paris- we're in
what are you
Paris.
gonna do? You know what I
What are you
mean?
gonna
Like,
do?
you're not gonna tell anybody you can tell.
Yeah,
You're gonna say,
exactly.
"Oh, it's amazing." Wet the floor down.
Wet
look
the
better.
floor.
Yeah,
Exactly.
wet the
That
floor
makes it
down,
look
like-
more
yeah.
interesting.
There's a couple of things like that, like
Little
wet the
tricks, yeah.
floor. You know, set it on fire.
Yeah.
You know, that was a good one. When I was doing the Jay-Z video, onto the
Mm.
next one.
Mhm.
You know,
Another classic.
Yeah.
Look, we're about
cruising
to
by
we-
classics. Right?
I want to get into the Hype Williams collaborations. That's
like
'cause
what my mom called him, Hank Williams.
Hank
How's
Williams.
Hank?
How
How's
did
Hank?
you meet Hype Williams?
Tupac.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
this-
started. This is interesting. I've always been American. I've always been fascinated by black culture in America as a kid.
Mhm.
Yes,
All we
sir.
listened to was Motown, right? And we related to it in a working class way. We were being liberated at the same time. Our class system was collapsing as the American class system, civil rights was coming. You know, we were being liberated from our fucking shitty jobs and shit. You know what I mean? And rise up. You know what I mean? Through the system, and you know, so we related to Motown in a very similar way. It was liberating for us.
Right.
Ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low. You know, it was like, yeah, you know, we can do this. You got a couple of drinks down here, you're good. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, I've always been fascinated with that. And then, all of a sudden, all this money was in the rap music and stuff, And it was looked down on from my point of view. People in my world, they were like, oh, no, we don't do rap videos. I was like, I do. I like them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were like, what? No. And I was like, you might not get paid. I'm like, yeah, you will. Just do it, why say that?
Yeah.
Just don't be like that. You know what I mean? I was like, they're like, yeah, but it's like, and I did Tupac videos.
No
shit.
Tupac video?
I did a Tupac video in Art Space.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Man. Jesus
This
Christ.
like weird shootout in Art Space where, and it was a whole thing. Yeah, it was a
Unbelievable,
fight in
man.
there.
No
Yeah,
shit.
they had a fight in there. It's in
Is that the one that this famous story is about him fighting with the
special effects guys.
Oh, I thought it was the director.
Tell us the story.
Tupac
Yeah.
and the Outlaws,
Yeah.
right? It was when the beef was going on with Biggie.
This is now 1993 or something?
95.
95, yeah.
Yeah.
I just got here.
Tupac and Biggie.
Yeah.
I was doing the videos. I did the every other video.
Get the fuck out of here.
Wow.
Every
Yeah,
other
all
thing.
I'm
No
done.
matter where I go, I see the same. hoes.
Ain't nothing but a gangster part.
You
Oh,
did that
you
one
did
too?
that one?
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
And I was just up in it,
We have
I was
sorry.
up in it, and I was like,
We have a
shit's
legend
dope.
in the house. We have a legend here.
I was like,
Jesus
shit's
Around
dope.
Christ.
And because I was English, I think I could transcend the being white thing. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, right,
You're not
right.
white when you're English.
Yeah.
You're just English.
English.
It's
Nah, that's some
weird.
real- that's some real
It's
shit.
some weird shit. It's
No,
some
that's
weird
some real
shit. No,
shit.
it's weird. And if you're black and you're English, you're not black.
Yeah.
You're English.
Yeah, yeah,
Do you know what I mean? It's
yeah.
weird.
Right.
It's like
oh yeah, he's English. No.
he's English.
yeah.
He's not black.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, he is black,
But
he's
there's
not
something
English.
cool about that because that
There's
allows
something
for-
weird about that. But because if you
allows
ask an
for
English person
collaboration.
from like a Caribbean background or something, where you from? They're gonna be like, from fucking England.
Yeah.
You know what you talking about? Where am I
Yeah.
from, you cheeky bastard? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, not like here where everyone's like, hey, I'm a fucking
Right.
third
Yeah.
this and a fifth that
Yeah.
and a
No, you're American.
5% fucking
Right.
Italian, whatever. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Mongrel. Oh, they're all divided up into the who they are tribe.
Right.
That is classic that you was in that era.
Yeah, and I just
Every
fell
other
right
day
into
we
it.
go.
I felt right into it, right?
Unbelievable, man.
And I started doing all these things, and then we did this video, Tupac video, and I left for the night. It was like night shoot. I left, and I was there all day, and then they were all off their head. They were
Yeah.
all coked up, his boys.
No shit.
Yeah, and then there was some special effect. There was some Navy SEALs guys with the weapons.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a shootout that they were reenacting.
Right, right,
They're gonna
right.
kill Biggie in this shootout. Not good.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
yeah.
And they were all in art space, and there was like,
No fucking
Tupac
shit,
was
man.
there, and someone, they were like that guy, one of the Navy SEAL dudes was like, oh, we can't give these guys their guns, even though there's nothing in them.
Uh-huh.
You can still sparks and all that. You can
Uh-huh.
still get hurt.
Right.
They're all drunk and on drugs.
Right,
I'm not
right,
giving
right.
them no gun.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Give me the fucking gun.
Yeah, they had their own guns, I think. You know what I mean? But-
Yeah.
And someone fucking swiped this guy, one of his outlaw mates.
Oh, like sucker punched him?
Sucker punched this
No
dude,
shit.
the
Wow.
fucking Navy SEAL.
And he's like the gun.
These are
tech.
real.
Yeah.
These two black guys were like real deal. You know what
Oh,
I
they
mean?
were real Navy
They were
SEALs.
real Navy SEAls.
Oh.
And they're there advising.
Bad
and they're
move.
No, they're
managing,
like
yeah.
weapons people.
Weapons
you know,
guys,
in the
yeah.
movie industry,
Right, right.
probably specialists. You know,
Right.
bringing their own weapons and shit to
Sure,
the
yeah.
thing, all fake shit. You know, but
Yeah.
real shit. So then it kicked off. The lights went out. I mean, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I have said I was there, actually, but I wasn't there. We're putting it on tape. And but my mate was there, one of my best mates, and the lights turned off, and the gaffer turned the lights off, and it was like chaos broke out.
Wow.
And then the gaffer turned the lights back on again,
Yeah.
and the only person that was stood there was Tupac,
No
and
shit.
he had a gun in his hand. And you don't know if it was real or I don't know, probably
yeah, at
real.
that point, yeah.
Yeah, and he was acting like a caged animal at that point.
Yeah, yeah.
You could feel it. You could feel the energy. I was around him quite a bit. You know what I mean?
Huh.
I never took pictures and all that with them because
Yeah.
I never imposed myself. on them.
Right.
I was always like doing my thing,
Right.
And and then someone shouted, art department, save yourselves.
Get the fuck out of here.
And my mate was in the room locked, wouldn't let anybody in.
Like it was going down.
Art department, save yourselves.
All of a sudden, it's like there's something going down.
Yeah.
here. And
MTV
then,
came to see me the day after. I was like, hey, ain't no rat, get out of here. You know?
Oh, they want you to
Like,
speak on
full
it?
on, like, report on what happened. Get the fuck out.
MTV News and shit.
Yeah. down in
Apparently,
the
there was an
studio.
incident last night.
Yeah.
We're here with the production designer.
They went to the cars, the Navy SEALs, and they came back with some real shit.
No shit.
Yeah, they were
went
into it.
down.
Yeah, they were into it. They were gonna fuck them all up.
Yeah.
They were like, they all scarpered. You know what I mean? These guys
Coming
they
back
were-
with bazookas and shit.
Yeah, I was up in the rap game, and everyone was like giving me shit for it, you know. And I was like, I like it. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's like it's a bit low, you know. I was like,
This is like the
low culture, and I'm
Death
like,
Row, Suge
I'm like,
Knight
you're
shit.
wrong, mate.
Man, these
You're
are
wrong.
These are
I said,
restored
you're gonna look at-
videos that era.
I'm like, you're gonna look at this like it's jazz later.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
American culture.
Yeah.
And you don't know that because you up your own ass.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
And it was Nirvana at the time. It was rock. Everyone wanted to do that. You know what I
Grungy
mean?
shit,
That's what
yeah.
we were all listening to,
Right.
you know? And then like, you know, Snoop came along
Yeah.
and shit and just started like, you know, and then Dre came along
Yeah.
and Dre was started rocking everybody. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden white people were
Eminem.
all like fascinated by that shit. And then MTV and this explosion started and I was like right up in it, you know? And I was already in it. And then someone called me and, you know, I was watching this guy on MTV called Hype Williams.
Yeah.
I was watching him.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to get to work with this guy.
No shit.
When I
man.
do, I knew that.
Yeah.
Like he's going to need me.
Yeah.
He's going to need me.
Nice.
Beckoned him into my life.
Hmm.
I said, when I do, I'm going to kill it. I'm going to kill it.
Yeah.
Because he's my ticket. I'm his ticket.
Yeah.
And he's mine.
Yeah. And Hype already did. He was already
He'd
a
already
working
started
director.
doing it,
yeah.
doing great
Yeah.
videos, and I could see the art direction.
Legendary music video director.
Oh, yeah,
And I
of
could
course.
see his art direction. He used to be an art director,
Yeah.
apparently, for a minute.
Yeah.
And, you know, but he was very art direction. He wanted art direction.
Right.
So it was my ticket, you know, and he was so charismatic. And so, but the funny thing is like, right, you got the job. No diggity.
No shit.
Right?
Another classic, man.
No diggity. Hype, you know, wants to build a juke joint on the beach.
Mm.
Right.
That's
So I'm like,
beyond classic.
okay, you know, it sounded like something we did as a kid. Like, you know what I mean? Like building shit out of wood, you know, on the
Yeah.
beach. Fine.
Yeah.
Not on the beach, but wherever we did it, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, cool. They had some money. They had enough money. Go and meet him at the some fancy hotel in Beverly Hills,
Mm.
right? So I'm like, all right, cool. Go down there. Mr. Williams will be with you in a minute. Just wait here.
Mhm.
Hour and a half waiting,
Mm.
you know? And I'm like getting a little antsy.
Yeah.
I'm like, cheeky bastard, you know what I mean? Keeping me fucking waiting an hour and a half, like, you know what I mean? So then he comes downstairs with his entourage,
Ah.
right? One fucking
Pant-
boot up, one pant up like that on one side, down on the other.
Pant leg up. East Coast shit.
Wrecked
Yeah.
from weed.
Yeah.
Fucking eyes gone.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? They've all been upstairs smoking weed.
Yeah.
I'm fucking waiting for these guys
Sitting
down
in the
here, but they
lobby.
don't know me. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't know if he thought I was white.
Yeah.
Regan Jackson. I
Right.
don't think he put it together.
Yeah.
Right? So he walks up and he goes, and I went like this. I stood up and I'm like, nice to meet you. And he looked right past me.
Yeah.
And he was looking past me the whole time. And
To
I'm
look
like,
for you, but it was you
yeah, to
already.
look for me, right? And I was like, and I moved my head over to the side and I go, I'm Regan Jackson.
Yeah.
And he went, oh, okay.
The Jackson-
Okay. You know,
Jackson threw
he
him
was,
off.
he was really stoned at the time. He was like, and he's like, okay, cool. I love your work. I'm like, I love your work. Been waiting,
Yeah.
you know, to talk to you.
Yeah.
You know, your highness. You know, and he just set it off like that. You know,
Yeah.
I've been waiting. I got to say that. I've been waiting.
I just want to say I've been waiting 2 hours over here. You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I want to do this, want to do that. We got some fucking puppets. Very charismatic.
Yeah.
You know, he says to me, I said, oh, you want to build this juke joint? He's like, yeah, juke joint, yeah. I said, what? How many? Tall? It's got to be tall, or else you won't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, tall. I'm it's like made out of stuff left over, like a
Washed up wood or some shit.
Yeah, washed up wood on
Yeah.
a bayou. Yeah. And I'm like, like a shebeen. He's like, oh, you know what a shebeen is? You know what a shebeen is?
I don't know what a shebeen is.
Shebeen's an Irish Jamaican word.
Oh,
It's like, it's a juke joint. It's a illegal drinking spot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, like a
Shebeen.
speakeasy.
It's a speakeasy. It's a Gaelic term for speakeasy. But
Uh-huh.
a lot of
Shebeen.
Gaelic terms became Jamaican terms.
Yeah.
You know, a shebeen. He's like, you know what a shebeen is? I said, mate, I've been in more shebeens than you've ever been in. From Manchester, mate. You know what I mean? The whole place is a shebeen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, and he's like, oh, okay, so you know what you're talking about. I'm like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. So then we just got all this stuff and wood and went to the beach and fucking threw this fucking house up, right? In the wrong place. They're like, it's in the wrong place. I was like, you fucking dickhead.
Yeah. So you
know?
built it and you had to move it.
Chop it down,
Jesus.
put it on the back of a truck,
Yeah.
take it to another part of the beach, set it back up again. It's fucking mad. 36 hours straight, I did that on that
Yeah.
job.
Jesus.
The longest day I've ever done.
Yeah.
I didn't mind.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
Yeah.
I had not a care in the world.
Yeah.
Just go until I stopped.
Yeah.
Roll me up like a burrito
Yeah.
in the side over there in a fucking, like a one of those Fernie pads. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I'll be all right. Wake me up in a bit. I'll go again.
I'll be all right.
Douse me with some water.
Go and see your mate.
Yeah.
Come back with some of that stuff.
Crazy, man.
Makes
So
you
that's
go.
what got the
So
relationship
yeah,
started.
then me and him just I don't know if he fell in love with me, but I fell in love with him.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
And then there's the
And
classic.
he was a little difficult with money and all that, so he kind of made it a bit difficult.
Yeah.
He never really trusted people with
Yeah.
money, you know.
Because that's now a look, that wall of lights, which you came up with, that's now in the lexicon. It's now a proper look. Everyone knows it. It's that era.
Vibrant thing.
It's bling bling, right?
It's such a vibrant thing.
Yeah.
That's me.
Jesus, man.
That's amazing.
Me.
That's a
Q-tip.
whole, yeah.
Yeah. Q-tip.
No
is-
scrubs.
That's part of
No scrubs is you too?
Yeah.
That's
Jesus,
definitely
man.
part of '90s history and
Unbelievable.
on those lights for sure.
You
How
did,
about She's a Bitch?
which one's that?
Oh, it's my piece de résistance.
La pièce de résistance.
It's one of them anyway, yeah.
What's that one?
Missy Elliott.
Missy Elliott.
Yeah, the one where she comes out of the water and the big giant
Oh.
M. Didn't do well. It was very dark, and MTV didn't like it.
But our direction was
They were
heavy on
worried
that
about
one.
the millennial shit. They were
Yeah.
worried about everybody being dark, and
Yeah.
she was shouting, "I'm a bitch, I'm a bitch, I'm
Yeah.
a bitch," and they were like, "Oh no, thanks. We want more like Backstreet Boys."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They wanted soft.
Yeah, no, she's rawer than that though.
Yeah, well, they made a mistake with that, I think.
Yeah.
But they made this art piece. Hype was we were walking around, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll build me the Holland Tunnel here." I'm like, okay. Getting my notepad out.
Yeah.
Holland Tunnel. You know.
Check.
What else you want? You know what I mean?
Wait, did you do Vibrant thing?
Yeah.
I'm done. This guy's a legend.
That's
bro.
unbelievable.
Mic drop.
Mic drop. Actually, we should end it right there. No, but we can't because there's more.
Every time I see Vibrant thing, I always think about my mate Richard Carbo.
Yeah.
Shout out to Richard Carbo.
Shouts out to Richard Cabo in Venice.
All of those cars are his.
No shit.
Yeah, he had like
Really?
10 cars. I was like, I gotta go and get all my mates' cars. And we drove them all into the beach and
No
everything.
shit,
Yeah.
man.
All those cars were his at the time. What a character. Oh my
Bananas.
God, he's a fucking character.
What was that one Busta Rhymes video? The really up in your face with the camera's pulling back.
Wait,
Walls of
A lot
lights.
of those.
Yeah.
Hoo-ha.
You want to do that one?
Hoo-ha.
Hoo-ha.
No.
Got
didn't do
you.
that.
Whoa,
But they were
check.
influenced by you at that point already.
Yeah, that
you
was
made
him.
some
That was
waves.
hype, though. You know what I mean?
Right.
That was hype. Hype wasn't influenced by. Hype was like, hype would just blow my mind.
Yeah,
And like, I don't even think he really knew what he was like talking about sometimes. You know what I mean? He'd just say it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
'Cause it matched
he'd
the
he'd
music.
walk in and he'd go, make it twice as big.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Why didn't you tell me that before, you know?
yeah.
But he didn't know. We don't know.
Right.
So you get
No,
there.
he's got to speak vision, and then you kind of correct him and come back
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
real world, but still.
He wasn't in the real world.
Yeah.
He was in his own world
Right.
that he created, and he suffered from the experimenting with power quite hard because I saw him, learning all these things, and yeah, I learned a lot watching him learn
Mm.
as I was learning. fucking getting jiggy with it.
Yeah, you did that one too.
What a mess. What a fucking mess.
Wait, is that Will Smith?
Yeah.
That is Will. That was the biggest. I mean, I wasn't into that song per se, but that was like the biggest song of the year. You know?
Yeah.
On
It
a
was the
pop,
biggest
on a
mess.
pop level, yeah.
Yeah, we were like trying to deal with the ramifications with that for a fucking year later. Yeah, it was mad.
What happened?
Just stuff, money stuff.
Right.
It's like it was. We were in like a competition to outdo other people.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of people all doing the same, and we were in a game, and it was like, I'm gonna fucking get them.
Meaning
We're gonna get them.
like
other production teams,
other production teams and
there was
directors
a
and
couple
stuff,
of directors doing similar things, you know, and we were all in a competition with each other.
Yeah.
And then we'd cross paths, and I'd go and work with somebody else, but our energy wasn't right or whatever, or we didn't like each other basically.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? and if I didn't like you back in the day, I was a bitch. You know what I mean? I was.
That's right before I met you.
Yeah.
And there were some legendary stories that landed in my ear about you even before I met you.
Sure. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Half of them are true.
Yeah. And the other half are also true.
Other half are true to them. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's their version of it. You know what I mean? The way that.
No, but I can
for
see
them.
you play on that level. You know, you're executing on that level. Sure. You know?
People want your shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they want to
exactly.
take your shit from you. You know what I mean? They want your crown, like, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying I had the crown or anything like that, but I was like, actually thinking about it now, it was too soon for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think really? With hindsight now?
Yeah, it was all a bit much. I wish I'd have had a bit of better advice. I wish I'd have had a bit of better advice from a few people.
Yeah.
About how to like handle myself a bit better. You know.
What happened? A lot of ego kicked in all of a sudden.
Yeah. I lost the
You're like
can do.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know.
The gratitude maybe a little bit.
Yeah,
too.
the gratitude went away.
Man.
Gratitude went away.
When you're popping, all of a sudden you're like, you know what?
It started acting like a dick.
When you got a little bit of anger in you, and with a little ego, all of a sudden you're like,
chicks.
your shit don't smell, right?
Yeah, kind of like, trying to believe the, do you know I am?
Your own
thing,
hype.
Trying to believe your own hype.
You believe your own hype, yeah.
And people
that's
telling you,
where
oh,
shit
you're
changes.
amazing, and you're you're like, oh, thank you. It's fun. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was.
But I think it was timely. It was super fucking timely because you.
But I've always had a bit of a edgy hustle to me. You know what I mean?
sure.
Because, like no scrubs, right? We're doing this job, no scrubs. Millions of dollars involved.
Yeah.
That's when the money kicked in.
Huge, that's the big music video budget era.
Hype was doing something else. The record company got really mad with him, canceled the job. Right? Which spent loads of money.
Yeah.
They got mad at him because he wasn't paying enough attention. I don't know. I can't remember what happened, but they got mad at him, canceled the job on him. And he's like, fuck these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Don't call me again, bitch. You know what I mean? Don't fuck with me ever again.
Right.
He was like that. And then they got another person on board. They hated what he was doing, so they canceled it on him, man.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Then went back to us, right? So my mate had been doing all this stuff for them, right? He'd been doing the other set that they canceled on us.
Mm-hmm.
Then my mate started it again, and they spending a lot of money, and then they canceled on him.
Right?
Right?
And who was canceling? The record company?
Yeah, they were just acting crazy. They wanted this thing to be amazing, and you know they couldn't. They were just forcing it, and when you force something, it gets crazy. Right. So then I was like, oh, okay, well, they canceled on him. So I went to the shop where they just canceled all this shit, right? And I was like, what do you got?
Yeah.
What do you just spend all this money on?
Yeah.
Because it's just commodities to me. Do you know what I mean? And he goes,
I can position that somewhere else.
Yeah, I could rejigger it, right? Sure. I've always been able to rejigger shit. It's rejiggering, right? So I'm like, oh, what you got? So he's like, we got this, we got all this plexiglass, we got all this, we got that, we got this. I'm like, okay, how much did he spend on all that? And he's like, we spent like $80,000 on that.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'll give you 20 for it.
Yeah.
And they're like, I said, it's win-win, isn't it? You know what I mean? They're going to pay you.
Right.
I'm going to give you 20
It's
for
an
it.
extra 20.
It's an extra 20. You're just going to be sitting around here.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? He's like,
or you're going to break it.
Actually, why don't you just make me this?
Yeah.
Make me this.
Yeah.
So then I started like breaking off all these things and having different companies make everything for me for the first time.
Right.
And I'd make one thing. And we have all these companies making these other things.
Right.
And this giant turbine that we had that turns on a pulley system, you know, fucking, I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? I was like, you know. But I remember sitting in the meeting and they were talking about this turbine. He wanted it to be a box.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
We're talking a giant one, like a 10, 12-foot one.
oh, no. We're talking like 30
30-foot
feet.
one,
Yeah.
And then the talent's in front of that.
Well, they look like they're walking on the ceiling because the camera's here and it's really there.
Right. Yeah.
But we move the thing.
Right.
And then the camera's up here looking there.
Right.
So it's just a trick, really.
Right.
They're never wrong. They look like they're walking on the ceiling and stuff.
Right. So like
It's just a visual effect. Yeah. And, you know, and I remember like saying, we were in this meeting and I was like, it can't be a square because they won't be able to jump from one to the other. I said, you need to transition it more. And then I was like, oh, I'm reading this book right now. It's Sacred Architecture, right? The Sacred in Architecture.
Who was saying that?
Me.
Yeah.
Right. Because I was all into like that point. I'm thinking about what my responsibility was and how I can inflict
through symbolism and
through
stuff.
Symbolism.
Exactly.
You know, we talked about that a lot. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I was reading all this stuff about like trinities and pyramids and, you know, and then I'm like, we should make this a pentagon.
Yeah.
I'm like, America loves pentagons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you look at it now, it's a pentagon.
Yeah.
It's 5-sided.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that's when the spiritual architectural thing kicked in for me.
There was the inkling there. Yeah.
Well, I was also had this book, I Ching. I
I
never
Ching.
read any of this shit. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm a visual. I would rip pages out of it and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Lao Tzu, the one of the
Lao
greatest.
Tzu,
Lao Tzu, the one of the greatest Chinese minds.
I tried reading
BC.
it. I
I tried also.
clue what the fuck he was talking about.
I got the
you
Cliff
know?
Notes, and the Cliff Notes said, "You're all right."
But you know, I started looking at all these trigrams.
Yeah.
And I loved them the way they were. The thing, you know, the way it all breaks down. These trigram symbols,
Right.
Collections of 6, and I was like, oh, I love these. You know, I love these shapes, and they all mean things. These shapes mean things.
They point to something other than
No, they
themselves.
mean something
Yeah.
direct. It's like
Right.
this with this means that.
Right.
Means ultimate happiness.
Right.
Means coming together.
Balance
it
in
means
life.
Release this.
Yeah,
means all these things, balance and shit. You know what I mean? They're all different trigrams.
And so you started thinking, if I can sneak this into pop,
well,
and get everyone
there
exposed to it, that's deep.
Well, there and then, Hype telling me he wants this room that's like a corridor with a big swing in it, right? But the room has to double as something else as well, right? So it has to be 2 rooms.
Yeah, 2 sets, yeah.
Yeah, 2 sets in one. Take the fucking giant swing out
Right.
with the lift and pull it out, you know, and then make it something else. So he said, I want these big pieces coming out of the walls. And I was like, trigrams.
Yeah.
You know? So there was so much going on at the time. And I'm like, yeah, Hype, there's this thing called the I Ching. It's like, oh, fuck me. Regan's going on with himself again. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Do it. I said, look, it's nice. It's great. Like, he's like, I said, means this. He's like, yeah, whatever, Reg. Just, it looks good. Just do it, you know?
Yeah.
Make it all silver and make it all, like, you know, embossed from the thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, right, all right.
And this is on what
And
video
they were
now?
struggling. They were struggling hard.
What video is this now?
No Scrubs.
No Scrubs still.
And they were struggling. You could feel the band struggling with each other.
Right.
They'd already canceled the video twice. They were struggling, right? So I decided to put all this positive stuff in the walls,
Nice.
right? There was,
That's
and I'm into numbers. I'm into 5. I'm into 3. I'm into 7.
Right.
You know,
Numerology.
no, numerology. I don't know, but you know, it just works for me. Works best when I have a meaning to it for
Right,
me,
yeah.
and I can explain it to me.
Right.
And so I did this thing, and in the back it says ultimate happiness in a trigram.
Yeah.
And I wrote them all down on a piece of paper just in case anybody ever asked me, you know what I mean? I had it on a bit of paper in my pocket, right?
Yeah.
And I was trying to explain it to Hype, but he wasn't fucking listening. So I was like, all right, fuck you, not listening, you know?
Yeah.
You're not listening. So Left Eye Walk comes on to the set, and she's deeply, I don't know, she's a special person.
Left
you know what I
Eye,
mean?
yeah. She's beautiful,
She's a
man.
beautiful
Yes.
soul, man.
Listen,
And she goes, it's the I Ching.
No fucking way, man.
And I go, did she just say fucking I Ching? She goes,
She's
it's
dope.
the I Ching. Who did this?
Wow.
And I went, Hype.
Yeah?
Yeah, you got to do it, dude.
That's true, yeah. You can't
Me
claim.
is
yeah.
not
It's yeah.
the worst thing you could do.
Wow. That's a
right?
beautiful lesson right there. Who did it? Hype. That gives me goosebumps.
Who did it?
You could have been like me. I did it and claim all the
I could have
merit.
said, yeah, fucking listen to a word I said, man. I've been trying to tell him all week. I'm mad about this shit.
But wait, that's a beautiful moment. You said
Thanks.
no. Hype did.
Hype did it. Because Hype did everything. If it fucked it up, he did it.
Yeah.
If it's amazing,
He's
he
the
did
captain.
it.
He's our captain.
He's our
the
captain. You fall in line if you know how to be a good.
Wow.
You fall in line, man. Stay in your lane. You know what I mean? Like work the fucking angles. You know?
Goosebumps right now, man. That's
Thanks.
a big moment.
Yeah, and and I said Hype, and she goes. I said, but I know what it all means. I don't know what it. I was like, hold on, I got my fucking paper right here. You know what I mean? I pulled my paper. I was like, oh my god, I've been waiting for this fucking moment. She's like, walk me through it, and I was like, okay. Wow. This one, I can't remember what they all meant. I've got the book at home still. They're probably marked pages.
Yeah.
I've got all these books and each page is marked and I can see the direct result of that one page in my career,
Yeah.
Before Google, I just stopped buying books.
Yeah.
Yes, we used to have these things called books.
And libraries.
Libraries. And you'd have to do a bit of work and you'd have to go.
Yeah, it was a lot.
There was a lot of work. There was research libraries all over LA that would do it for you.
Oh, yeah?
Expensive, yeah.
Really?
It's like
so you'd give them
$60 an hour.
a thing to research and then do it on your
Yeah,
behalf and then come back.
find me basketball backboards.
Yeah.
And
They do
get
it for
about pages,
Wow.
photocopy them for you, and then
Before
bring them
Google.
to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
$60 an hour.
Imagine
man,
it's a different
shit.
world.
The original Google. Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is still, now we're late 90s, right?
Yeah, 99.
Yeah.
Millennial.
Unbelievable.
And yeah, and she knew what it meant. And I was like, wow, she knows what it means.
That's
And then all of
unreal.
a sudden this thing just happened.
Yeah.
It happened so naturally,
Hmm.
And it was so natural and so forced. Not forced.
Right.
They tried forcing it, and now all of a sudden it just worked. And then my career just exploded from
It did,
there. You
yeah,
know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
It was
yeah.
like, oh my God.
And all of a sudden you're on fire. You're working with the biggest artists in the biggest arenas, on the biggest platforms, and you're working with them and you're doing it and it's heralded.
And I wasn't being nice about it. I was being smart with my directors and stuff like that.
What do you mean I wasn't being nice?
I wasn't enjoying it.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it.
Were you just stressed out
Too
about the next thing?
stressful. It was
Yeah.
too stressful.
Yeah.
I wasn't in the moment. I didn't have the knowledge that I picked up afterwards about how to take care of myself, how to be in the game, to be not in the game. Knowledge is power, and we're all on our own path as we're on it. You know what I mean? You get there when you get there, if you're going to get there.
Yeah.
If you're going to get there. I don't know if you're going to get there. I don't know. Can't
But
help
it's
it.
bliss because now you're here and you feel good about yourself, right?
I feel more comfortable in my skin than I've ever felt.
I
you
know. I feel it from you.
Yeah, I feel really like
So it was
wherever I go, I'm like, I belong here, or else I'm leaving. I'll leave. I'll go somewhere else. I belong. You know what I mean?
beautiful philosophy.
I'll
If it doesn't
leave,
feel good, I'll just bounce.
I'll
That's
just
it.
bounce. I don't need to
Yeah.
explain this shit. I don't need to
Exactly.
feel you. I don't need to judge you.
Yeah.
Because we judge in machines.
Yeah.
I get paid to do
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
what do
they-
you think? I'm like,
I
do
don't
I have
hate
to
it.
have an opinion?
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it. Is a
That's one you made me crack up about when we were going strong with Art Space. You come back and Reeg, as you can tell, is always very perceptive to the times. And for a while, it was layers of light.
Oh, yeah.
everything was layers of light. When you get into the beauty business,
fucked me up, that shit, because really I was just looking for an easy way of making a bunch of money, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it actually fucked my career up doing beauty.
it did.
Yeah.
Because I remember you were
I had
talking
no
about it
reel
at
at
the
the end of
time.
it.
You were explaining it to me that to do beauty commercials,
You needed to qualify for that shit.
it's
yeah.
one of the hardest things because it's got to be minimal, and there's got to be something happening on screen, right? And that's how
But
we get the
not
layers of
much.
light.
Yeah,
but
a lot,
not much.
but not much.
But
It's-
still
it was just-
sophisticated. How do you do that?
Yeah, my
right?
mate busted me one day. She said, she's like, show me a reel. And I showed her. She goes, what is all this bullshit?
Like after the
She's
beauty
like,
set,
who the fuck are you? You know what I mean? I was like, shut up.
layers of light. man.
She was like, what the fuck? Everything looks the same. She goes, you used to be the man. What happened?
Yeah.
She used to be doing all amazing shit. And she goes, oh. I went, what? She goes, oh, you're just trying to get paid as much as possible for
Yeah.
doing as little as possible. And I was like, yeah, aren't we all?
Yeah.
She's like, no, we're not.
Mm.
Some people are passionate about art direction.
Yeah.
She busted me, and that's when I decided to get back on board with a bit of hard work again. You know, the games.
Yeah, but they're waves, they're seasons, and you move through them.
Periods, you know,
Periods,
like different, you know, painters have periods and stuff like that. They do, blue, different times. I mean, you know, like when you came into art space, into my life, you know, I was ready to share.
Yep.
I was ready to turn the page on the...
Changed my life, man. You changed my life.
I was ready to turn the page because I'd realized all these things that I was trying to hold on to, you know, they were going to be still here. Yeah. I'm going to be gone one day. I don't want to be worrying about this stuff that's nonsense anymore, you know?
What you did for me is incredible, and it will tell whoever's listening.
Yeah.
So
is there anybody listening?
Is there anyone out there? By the way, are we just talking to ourselves? Hey, I'm out of here, bro. So we know each other through Hashim, who Sean also knows.
I know Hashim forever.
Shouts to Hashim Thomas, great person, the best laugh on the planet.
Master.
The Hash Man.
Karate boy.
And so Hash at the time was getting into hashtag, was getting into, I think he was working for you on set as a painter or something, or just getting started.
He was trying to get going. He was a friend of this girl I was seeing.
Right. Yeah, at the time.
Yeah.
And I was already painting everywhere, and you
another friend I had to like. Everyone used to try and drop their friend off on me. You know what I mean? It was like fucking strays around me all the time. You know what I mean? I'd be like, "You fucking useless! You get the fuck out of here!" You know what I mean? You don't even want to offer me a cup of tea, you fucking idiot. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I got another trick that I do with people now when they come to my house. You know, because I work out in my house now. It's just a bit more personal. If I don't like you can't be in the house. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
Back in the day, if I didn't like you, just put you in another room, like, you know what I mean?
So he's like, man, I'm working for this crazy character. Like he's a wild maniac, but he's beautiful. And
what a description.
You know?
True.
And you gotta meet Reg, you know? And at the time, I guess I was doing all this remember who you are shit in the street, right? These little kids. And I guess you had a moment with one of those before we even met.
Yeah.
And
I was looking at your message,
you
know, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I kind of knew that my studio and everything as it was winding down.
Yeah.
I could feel that it was winding down. I was trying to wind it up, but really I was winding it down, really.
Right.
I didn't know that at the time. And I decided to just sort of give back.
Yeah.
And you were the benefactor.
Yeah, and we met. And at the time
I was like, oh, you want a studio? There you go. There's your studio.
It was unbelievable. So I was painting on my balcony on drywall, which was the cheapest canvas I could find, $3.49 at the time or something for the piece of drywall.
I was probably trying to leverage you at the time.
Maybe.
I don't know how.
So all of a sudden, Hashim was like, let's go meet Reg. He's got this space in off of La Cienega in Culver City. It's fucking beautiful. Let's just go have a chat with him. I'm like, okay, let's go. And that was art space. It was just like a set building shop, and every paint color is there. You've been there. Everything you can imagine, table saws, routers, ladders of all kinds. Everything is
there.
In the back.
Yeah. It's everything you can imagine was fucking there. I'm like, where the fuck am I? And we met, we got on like right away. And I'm like painting on my fucking balcony, you know, like trying to spritz and fucking, I had 2 roommates sleeping in a bunk bed at the time with another immigrant. With Marco, you know Marco.
On Federal.
Yeah. And so I'm painting, I'm trying to like
scooping up these fucking losers all around.
and definitely, but there's a lot of passion in me. And Regan was like,
you had a strong vibe, man. You had a strong vibe. And I don't know, at some point I was done overpowering people.
Yeah.
I was done with it. I was like, someone overpower me for a minute. You know what I mean? Like, let's see what you got. You know what I mean? Like,
let's see what
let me invite some people in and give them their independence from me. Because if you worked for me, it was different. You couldn't.
And I noticed that. I saw that everyone was sort of like bowing down to you. And I'm like, look, I don't know this guy. I'm never going to work for the guy.
I didn't want them to bow down to me.
You know what I mean?
Just so you know that. I didn't want them to do that. You know what I mean?
I know that.
They were just playing their own game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And for me, I get that people are like censoring themselves or all that sort of stuff. But I just saw you as someone that I respected and as an equal. But if, you know, I can talk open and can be myself without any agenda, right? And so all of a sudden we go there. And I see this space. We go upstairs to what used to be your old office. And he's like, you know what Regan told me? He said, I'm going to give you this space, which was about, what was it up there? Like 800 square feet or something? Something like that. But to me, coming from the balcony, this is amazing. And he's like, I'm going to give it to you for free for 1 year. I'm like, what?
That's amazing.
And that's how we.
Still can't believe I did
That's
that.
how we became friends.
That's
That's how we became
that
friends.
changed people's lives.
Unbelievable. Changed my life, Regan. You did. You gave me a push that I needed.
Good.
I was
for
yearning
you,
for
man.
space.
Well, I do believe that the universe, it's mumbo California talk.
No, but it's true.
I do believe now, to this day, I believe that I get what I need because I've always been able to be inclusive. I've paid the price to be the boss.
Pay the cost to be the boss.
I paid the cost to be the boss.
That's beautiful, man.
I believe you pay it forward, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm not saying I've helped a bunch of people,
Yeah.
but I've shared energy with a bunch
Yeah.
of people. And I'm very good at sussing people out really quickly.
I feel like
You
I have
know,
that talent.
Street-ish.
Especially in a city where everybody wants something from you. That's
Yeah.
really cool that you did that.
Yeah. No, it
Right.
changed
It was
my
a
life,
reverse
man.
psychology.
Changed my
I
life.
was really thinking about a lot of stuff. I'd started reading stuff, you know, different things that I was reading. And then we started talking on a philosophical level.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'd heard of Alan Watts before, but, you know, I met this guy who was obsessed by him. You know what I mean? He was like listening to him.
Me,
like,
yeah.
And I was like, we started like listening to this shit. And, you know, and it's so.
And he was, Alan Watts is one of the greatest like philosophers the West is sort of known. He was responsible for bringing Zen to America and like this all in the 50s
Esalen.
and 60s. Esalen.
A beat poet,
Yeah.
British intellectual,
Yeah.
philosopher.
Yeah.
He never wrote anything down. Do you know that?
Yeah.
He never
no,
had.
No,
He never had notes.
He
when
wrote
went-
books. But,
No, in his speeches at Esalen.
Oh, yeah.
He never had anything
No, he
written
never.
down.
He just sat, loaded up a pipe, just regular tobacco, and he just started talking.
Like Tupac and Jay-Z.
But different. Alan is something else.
No, I
Alan
mean,
is something
like,
else.
no
Yeah,
disrespect.
Yeah,
No,
no,
you know,
disrespect.
it's
I'm
something
sure.
else.
Yeah.
I
and-
meant the genius of like it just comes out of it.
It just comes. But he was so he had an encyclopedic mind, and it just he had a Google in his mind, right? And he connected things that were not connected before, you know. So he started as an Episcopalian minister
he was
in England, and he got curious about, you know, how much can I know about myself if I'm stuck in my own Judeo-Christian thinking? I need to triangulate it with another system so I can know who I am.
compare it.
So he started going to China. He started going to Japan.
His parents were in the public service, and he lived in all those places
Yeah.
as a child.
Oh, I didn't know about his parents.
Yeah, he was educated he was living in China and stuff
Yeah.
as a child.
Wow, I didn't
You
know
know,
that.
and-
I thought he
yeah.
went as an adult.
No, he went there as a child,
Ah,
and he was there, and he was experiencing all these cultures.
Yeah.
Father's was a diplomat or something like that, and you know, had this incredible public school education as
Yeah.
well. You know, and he actually listened, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, he changed my life. I think.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it changed my life. You
Yeah.
know, and then you gave me some CDs, and
And the book I made, like 10 CDs.
yeah, and I just started like listening to that shit, and I still do. I was running, and I've heard it 1,000 times, and every time I hear it, I hear
Yeah.
something else I didn't hear before.
Yeah. Like he usually gives lectures from his houseboat in Sausalito.
Mhm.
And just, you know, or on the road, you know, to all kinds of, at all kinds of venues. And he just sits and talks and relates.
Mhm.
But he does it with an element that he likes to always say, that irreducible element of rascality, right? And he has a laugh at things. And it's not...
He's not saying it's fact either.
Yeah, he's
He's
just...
saying maybe you can accept this or maybe you can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'll
Or
send you some
maybe
stuff.
I'm
It's
wrong, maybe
beautiful
I'm
stuff.
not.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
I heard of the name. I just
Yeah.
don't know the work.
Fantastic person. And at the time, like,
He
I
coined
was
a bunch of
obsessed with it
phrases
because
for
I
us.
was painting this stuff in the street. And at the time, Reeg also got really interested, and it became... like,
Well, it started all this messaging that he was with. It was like, you know, inside the lexicon of, you know, Alan Watts.
Yeah.
And, you know, he had this this concept of or not,
or not, yeah.
right? Which we just adapted straight away. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, and it's like, you know, it's actually coming well handy for me sometimes. It really has. You can't overdo it.
You know, when
You
someone,
can't use it
when
too
someone comes
much.
at you passionately with this proposal or idea, right? And then you see it in their eyes. They're about it.
They're gonna do this.
And you let them finish, and then there's a beat, and you say, or not.
I like that.
It changes everything.
And I've done it at work a lot of it, you know what I mean? I'm like,
And then
like
you
the-
catch
the parallel to their
you catch
to their
the
whole
person,
dream.
and all of a sudden you see that twinkle in their eye kind of fade, and they knew somewhere that maybe it's not so good after all, you know.
or not.
you don't have to,
Or not.
I like that.
you don't even have to explain it to them either, because you just shut it down right there and then, you know. It's like, we could do that,
Yeah.
or we could not do that. You know what I mean? It's like, I think I'm
Or not.
not going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
It's a beautiful show.
We came to that decision together then. You know what I mean?
Moving on.
You feel good about it? Yeah, I feel good about it.
No, but beautiful times,
The
right?
game, though, you know, the main information, I can summarize the main information that I garnished from that period of Alan Watts was that life is a game.
Mm.
And in all these different styles of religions that he explains and breaks down for you, and how we think inside them, the Judo-Christian religion, the Taoism,
Right. Hinduism,
Buddhism,
Buddhism,
you know,
Judaism.
and this explains to you that in the Mahabharata, the Bible of the Hindus, the story, it's not a Bible, it's a story.
Right.
And we're all actors and actors
On the stage.
actresses on the stage
On a
of
cosmic
life,
stage. Yeah.
in a cosmic stage, and
We all have parts.
it's all parts to play, and you're fulfilling your role, and you can change it, and it can evolve, and it
Yeah.
can decrease. And again, you know, like in Shakespeare, in this book, The Spiritual Architecture, that I read, that changed my design sense. In Shakespeare, in the Globe Theatre, in Shakespeare's Globe Theatre, if you entered from the left and you exited from the right, your character had evolved.
Mm.
If you went back to the same place you came in from, your character devolved.
Mm.
You know, so it was like messages inside the
yeah.
messages inside the. Yeah, you know, like being educated.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. No, it's there's only, you know, Alan Watts talks about gooey people and prickly people, right? The prickly
Yeah.
people, they're a little bit like uptight about everything. You know, they're not loose. You know, they want statistics and they're sharp and they have commentary on
I'm a
everything.
pure hybrid, me though. I'm a
Like this.
hybrid.
And then, yeah, he talks about gooey people and they go with the flow. They're relaxed. You know, they're, you know, yeah, maybe, man. You know, that's just your
I'm pretty
opinion, man.
prickly every
Or
now
not.
and
Right, but then he complicated the thing, and he said, "Well, there's also gooey prickles and prickly goos." You know what I mean?
And I'm
And we're
a bunch of those.
and I'm
which-
probably a prickly goo because I get really, you know, kind of neurotic, and I overthink things, and I want like the way I'm a control freakish a little bit, but then I'm also laid back, and I can go with the flow and all that sort of stuff. But once it's
you
like
decide.
outlined,
You're pretty determined.
I'm determined, which makes me a little bit prickly, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty prickly.
Yeah.
You know,
And these are fun
Now-
things to consider, like as a human that's alive.
well,
right?
you know, he talks about the microscope and the telescope.
Right.
One looking out, one looking in.
Yeah.
And how the two universes are, you can look as far out as you want, and you can look as far in as you want
Yeah,
with,
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
with the microscope.
Equidistant.
And with the stuff that you can't see.
Right.
The stuff that you can't see inside a telescope,
Yeah.
and the stuff that you can't see out inside a microscope.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm.
and it's the two worlds. You know, there's a lot of information going on around us that we are completely unaware of because
Right.
we're thinking our thoughts.
Yeah. And our field of vision is focused on maybe
And we're not we're being trained, you know, to do what we do.
right. That's
We're being led down the garden path.
right. You know, it's
And
all-
I'm aware of that now.
Yeah.
And I feel better knowing it.
Yeah.
But I'd rather be I'm glad I'm aware.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be. I'm glad I'm aware
Yeah.
of the fact that I'm being led down the garden path.
Yeah.
I'm doing quite a fair bit of leading down the garden path too. I don't really see very clearly now my role in this, you know. And it's basically to just keep on keeping on, you know.
Yeah.
Like
A songbird
literally
has to
rock
sing.
it till the wheels fall off.
A
type,
songbird
you know what
has
I mean?
to sing, and you gotta
You
gotta
gotta
do
keep, you gotta rock it
Do
till the
you,
wheels
boo-boo,
fall
yeah,
off, you
that's
know.
it.
I don't know if there's another life. I don't know. You better just do your best with the one you got
Right.
for now. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't know if you believe in afterlife. Do you think
Reincarnation.
you're okay with fucking up this one? Like, you know what I mean? Or you do better? You think?
I don't know. I've been trying to do the same thing, like live in the present, this life. I don't know if there's another life.
It's tough.
Yeah. But if you have another go around, like a video game, like, man, if I don't beat let's say this level or whatever it is in the video game, then you say, okay, like, we can put in a new game that I'm better at or something. I think about that. I wonder, if this is
I wonder too.
or if it's not. But
better just think that it is. I think better lean on the side that this is it, just in case. You know what I mean?
But one thing,
wrong.
one thing I do know for sure, I'm trying to, for me, just the act of painting a wall. I don't know what it is. I still love it, man. I still love it more than ever.
More
than back then.
You?
Then that's
get off on
amazing.
it.
My whole
He's
life
a
is
wall stealer.
My my whole life is just, can I get to paint another wall? And everything that surrounds that, I gotta arrange. I gotta be smart about, just so I can keep painting walls. That's it. The whole thing is
so interesting.
It's weird.
You told me one time. You said to me, "There's enough walls for everybody to go around."
There is.
I was like, that's so funny. Because people were mad at you in Venice for a while.
They were mad.
They're so mad at you.
No, I used to get emails like, it's enough already,
because
man.
you talk all these people into giving them the wall, right? And they were like, he's fucking done it again. He fucking, and it's like, I said, he told me to tell you something. It's like, what? I'm like, he told me to tell you there's enough walls for everybody. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. I don't even notice, but they're everywhere. Everyone's got them.
Yeah, everyone's got them.
Everyone's got
We
them.
live between walls. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Venice was going a little bit apeshit at one point. Like.
Well, you were just probably more determined than most.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yeah, you're quite a charming character when you put your mind to it.
Thank you, darling.
I mean, it's a big part of living here. You attract a lot more bees with honey.
Yeah.
You know, it took me a little while to. I knew that at the beginning, then I forgot it.
Yeah. And then you reconnected.
Then I reconnected with it because it's the truth.
Right.
You lose your way along the way.
Yeah.
All I can say is, do your best. Like wake up and put your back into it if you want, or don't if you don't.
Yeah. I like what you said, because I feel like that now. When you were talking about, you can't even sleep. You're thinking about what you're going to create tomorrow.
You were saying that a couple of weeks ago when I spoke to you.
I'm there now again. I wasn't there for 4 or 5 years. Just like, I'm kind of doing what I'm doing. I get it. But now I'm like, I wake up before I'm supposed to wake up, because I always think I need my 7 to 8. And if I don't get those, then I'll have a half day with a half energy. Today, I slept 4 hours.
Right.
All week, I slept 5 hours. That's unheard of in this period of my life. I just can't wait to make stuff. I can't wait to share it.
I need that right now.
The color, everything. It's so enriching to be able to share, to put color on a wall or on any kind of structure, whatever. There's energy in that, and I lie awake at night.
You're becoming very
it.
dimensional now.
Yeah.
You have all these different dimensions to it and space and stuff, and
right.
And your that Magritte thing you did was beautiful.
Yeah, that was
really
one.
beautiful.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, I'm gonna knock this shit off.
Yeah, knock it off, man. I was proud of that one. Yeah, that was in Belgium. So I came back
really
like the whole
strong. Like respect to the shoulders you're standing on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
And I wanted to give a tribute, and that's what it was. And I knew I needed to do something that's very everything needed to be in that wall, and that's still one of my favorites.
But, I mean, you're out there sharing your work with people. I was kind of, taken back by that a little bit. You know what I mean? Because I always wanted to get paid for everything I did.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to do it unless I got paid.
Yeah, in my world, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Not what
I didn't mean it to be that way,
Yeah.
but I didn't come at art from an artist. I came at it from a commercial point of view.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Found a job I like
Right.
that had a lot of different types of ways of expressing yourself inside it. And now I think that I'm more inclined to understand, that how art translates our culture,
right,
and how I can help it,
yeah,
as best I can.
And you're doing that, man. Like your body work is immense. Talk about
You
visibility.
know what's interesting though? I don't
It's
actually
bananas.
on my website and my reel and stuff like that. I don't dwell on the past anymore. It ages you.
It does.
It's not
It
good.
does.
Because then you're dragging all that shit.
You're talking about the past, blah, blah, blah. You know,
Yeah.
people, they're very now.
I have a
you know,
fetish
what did you
for
do
it.
now?
I have a fetish for it, but I'm
course you
trying
do.
my best to let go of the past, man.
Nostalgia.
Yeah, nostalgia's
And the-
kicking in now.
And the future for me.
Yeah.
Like planning tomorrow.
Yeah, it don't exist.
Just
Yeah.
like right now. Just
Yeah,
enjoy
yeah, yeah.
this-
What you got
this
now,
time.
If I
yeah.
have to choose, I do prefer thinking about the future because there's excitement there. That's about to happen.
But you
I
plan-
will facilitate.
We plan it based on our past.
Right.
You know, I found that, you know, me, you know, reliving my past is just, you know, it's only interesting if it's interesting,
Right.
you know, but if you trying to like relive it, you know, it's
Yeah.
not.
And
People
extract
like, "Oh
pain or
my God,
excuses or this and that.
Guy won't
you
shut
know?
the fuck up about
Yeah.
what he did back in the day, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
who cares?
Oh.
But it's what, you know, it's my body of work, you know, that got me to the place I'm at now. you
Yeah.
know. And I'm so grateful now that I actually get to still learn.
Yeah.
My job I just did a couple of weeks ago, they're like, we need a dolphin,
Uh-huh.
you know.
Like a live dolphin.
No, you can't.
No.
A robotic dolphin.
I know a weird looking motherfucker
Animatronic.
we can get.
Animatronic. dolphin.
Oh, animatronic. Yeah.
That's robotic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jaws.
And you found it somewhere?
There's a couple of places in town, you know,
Yeah.
and you know, so I'm like, call it. There's two guys. One of them's a lunatic who spends like 4 hours telling you he's got no time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, he
It
just
takes
fucking
4 hours
wasted
to tell you
4
he's got no time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What
You
a-
know what I mean?
I
What
know
a
those
knucklehead
facts.
he
Yeah,
is.
they're
You know what I mean?
funny. But here's why I don't have any time.
Yeah, he's tell you he'll do it one day and then backs out the day after.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and I'm like, you know, you can. If someone does that to you more than once, then you're the fool, not them.
Yeah, exactly.
Then there's another guy who's like the nicest guy in the world. Who's got these robotic fucking rhinoceros, dinosaurs and shit like that. And remember that lending tree commercial with the big tree that talked? Scary tree.
Yeah.
He did that. He was a
Yeah.
puppeteer in that.
Yeah.
And so when you puppeteer something, when you take an inanimate object and you bring life to it, you get residuals for that.
As an actor.
As a puppeteer, yeah,
Really?
as an actor,
Interesting.
yeah.
That's
When you bring life to something,
Mm-hmm.
like he brought life
You
to
animate.
a tree, you
You
animate
animate,
it,
yeah.
you get residuals.
No
for that.
shit.
So yeah,
I'm in the wrong business.
so there's an element to that too in business, you know.
Yeah.
So if someone uses the word puppeteering to you, you're like, you got to shut that word down.
Yeah.
You're like, no, I don't need puppeteering. I just need it stabilizing.
We'll move it ourselves.
I'll stabilize it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, you know. So yeah, we got this dolphin from him, and beautiful dolphin, you know, fiberglass,
Yeah.
not animatronic, but brilliant, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm over there and I'm telling him what I want to do. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna pull it. We need to rig it to a wire and pull it through the pool.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a dolphin.
Oh yeah.
It's a
yeah.
swimming. It's on the
Mm.
swim team. The dolphin's on the swim team.
I see. Yeah.
the commercial.
Yeah.
And
And it's gonna look good in the end, rather than animating it like for real CG.
but they're gonna do both.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the way the water peels off it, you
This is
can't do that.
difficult.
You
It's-
can't do
yeah,
that in
it's
CG.
tricky. It's gonna
Yeah,
cost a
water's-
lot of money to do.
Yeah, so anything they can get real,
Let's get it. Yeah.
get it
Yeah.
real. Always get it real.
Yeah. And
All these post-production companies want to do it real.
yeah.
They don't want to do it. It's too hard.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
too
yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
You know.
And then you can add some bells and whistles, crack a little pepper on top of it. You're good.
Then they mix it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They mix it up, and it's like, so you know, we got this thing, and this guy was like telling me, you know, you go there, and it's like inside his shop, and his shop's like a master builder, maker, sculptor, engineer. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, this guy's got mad knowledge. You
Yeah.
know. So he's like telling me how the thing's gonna. I said, have you ever put this in water before? He's like, no. But this is how it's gonna react in water.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, oh, so you know that without having done it? You're just theorizing? He's like, yeah, of course I am. Everybody is, aren't they?
Mm.
I'm like, yeah, also, yeah. And I was like, he says, oh, well, he said, it's gonna nosedive.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna have to hold it up somehow. I'm like, how do you know that? Because pull it.
Mm.
I said, I like to do it simple. He's like, I know, but it's gonna nosedive. I'm like, okay, how do you stop it from nose diving? It's like, we're going to have to build a rig off the back of it with a steadying thing and have someone steady it.
Yeah.
Hold it up a little bit, you know. I was like, how do you know that?
Because the nose is heavier than the tail, maybe, or something.
It was the way it was designed, this thing. It's like not designed like a torpedo. It was designed like that.
Yeah. There's a
So
curve
if you
to
pull
it.
It's going to come down.
Right.
Yeah.
He was fucking right about everything he said.
Yeah.
Put it in the water, straight down.
Yeah.
Fuck, this guy, you know what I mean? Like, and then he built a hole in it so the water could pass through it, and you could buoyancy it with, with how much water you put in. It could go all the way underwater, or it could be above water, which is best because then it all peels off the back of it. You know,
Right.
I've got video of it right here.
Yeah.
And now I'm a fucking fiberglass dolphin expert. You know what I mean? Like, no, for real. If anybody ever sees that commercial, right?
Yeah.
And they need something like that, they're gonna be like, get him.
Yeah.
He knows what he's talking about. You know.
Yeah.
And that's all they want from me.
Get me the dolphin guy.
Get me the guy who's done that already.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
that's how it works, doesn't it?
That's exactly how
and
it
that's
works.
how everything works. You show it first, and
You
then
know,
you
and
become the guy.
And they asked me that. How's
Right?
it? And
But you
the
got to show it first.
The director says to me, how's this going to work? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to rent a pool tomorrow, rent a pool for some hotel in Culver City. And we're going to rent the pool and we're going to go in there and we're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
So like, oh, okay, great. You know, and then we did that. We rented a pool. It was $5,000 to rent a pool.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
big pool.
Yeah.
With all pulley systems in it and pulling this thing through there. And then, then the day after we have to go and rent another pool somewhere else and figure out how to make these waves. And like, she's like, one day she's telling me, she wants a splash. And then she's like, no, more of a wave. I'm like, you need to get your words right.
Yeah, that's exactly.
These words matter, you know what I mean? Like, you want a splash or wave, they're different things. So yeah, just like the learning curve is it's on, and that's why people are really drawn to my job, production designer, because it's like it's physical, And we were like on this last job, we had like 4 different spots to do, and one of them was like they were like, when they tear the clothes off and it all comes off.
Yeah.
We're doing that guy.
Tearaway stuff.
Tearaway stuff. Yeah. And he's got a different outfit underneath, and then he's got a golf outfit underneath. And, he's just like, he just keeps going. And he's got another one on.
Yeah.
He's got another one on, And then they were like, yeah, we need a set of golf clubs to just appear.
Yeah.
And she goes, I don't want the kapow, puff, the appear thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, so we're thinking about it a bit. And then I think the producer, he says, how about if the golf clubs are inside a dim sum cart? Because we were in Asian restaurant, and then they're inside it, And I was like, oh, that's good. Yeah, it's just like, all right, go on then.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, let me go and figure that out, And you just...
It's a series of problem solving always.
Yeah.
And that keeps you fresh, keeps your mind, keeps you active, keeps you
start with
involved.
The elements, get the elements, and then just visualize them together.
And sometimes you get there all the way. Sometimes you got to make, you follow, the total concept couldn't be executed, but it's still a great spot, or, it's still a great execution.
No, you have to let them know beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to work.
Right.
It has to work.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Too many people
jobs
in
depend.
line. Yeah, there's too. If you said it's going to work, you pretty much have to make it work. Yeah. There's failure is not a great. Yeah, it's not really.
Yeah.
If only you would have. You like I said to them. Like if we don't test and all of these things, we have no idea.
Right.
On the day.
We got to shoot what we know.
We can't do. We can't have a learning curve on the day.
Yeah. Yeah, because
everyone's involved. Then you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Then look. So yeah, it's different things. All require a different approach, but
oh yeah, look at that! That's beautiful water already. There it is. Oh, looks great. That looks like a real fucking dolphin.
I know it looks really good. I saved them a fortune. They were so stoked.
Yeah.
They were so stoked.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
that looked really real. That one.
Was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks real.
Beautiful pool.
You know what they
too.
said?
What?
Can you make the tail flap?
Yeah.
I was like,
Of course.
I'll think about it. No. But if you don't, there's another thing. There's another thing you get with experience and age. Asking people, can you think about it?
Yeah.
I love that. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
They'll tell you if they need an answer right there and then.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're allowed to think about it, you should.
You should, yeah.
Because you might change your mind.
Which also allows them to think about what they're asking.
Allows them to think about
Right,
it.
exactly.
You should give them the space
Right.
to think about it.
Right.
Let me think about it.
Yeah. Do you mind? Ask them. Do you mind if I
It's
think
also an
about
indicator that more work is being done,
it? Yeah.
right? Which
Absolutely.
they love. Oh, they're working on it. They're thinking about it. That's a big
They're
idea.
thinking
Would
about
you
it
mind
at
if I
home,
think
on
about
their
that?
own
Oh,
time.
yeah. That's how involved this guy is.
So
It's
check
the
it out. There's
weekend.
another version of that, right? Like there's some all different types of directors. You know what I mean? Now some directors, they're like, they want you to be thinking about it nonstop, right?
Yeah.
So if you know the answer, and they say, "Oh, we're gonna do this," and you go, "No, I know how to do that.
Yeah.
Got it."
Yeah.
We go here, we do this, we do that. They go, "No, you haven't. You just want to check that off your list."
Yeah.
Right? So if I know the answer right away, and I'm with one of those types of directors,
Uh-huh.
I'll say, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
That would be
interesting.
great. Yeah.
Do you mind if I think about it for a while?"
Yeah. And now you're
I'll let you
working
know.
on it.
I'm definitely still in that one. I
Yeah.
like that.
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
And they go, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay."
He's
I'm gonna
actively
say
solving this
exactly
problem. This is a problem that hasn't been solved.
Day after,
Yeah.
I'm going to say exactly what I would have said before.
Yeah.
Right. But they think that I've been through this whole process.
It's appreciation time.
Maybe I have gone through a process.
They'll appreciate you more.
Maybe I did change my mind.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
But a lot of the times I didn't. I just didn't want him to say, "Oh, that's the easiest
Yeah.
thing for you, huh? That's what
Yeah.
you want to do because
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
easy for you. Oh, you want to
Exactly.
check that
No,
off
no,
your
no.
list, huh?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, I got 1,000 things on this list and I want to check a few off.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, you know?"
Yeah. But it makes them appreciate it more, even though you knew you could do it. You know exactly how you would execute it. But let's get back on this tomorrow, the day after, and then you know that thing we spoke about. We can do it actually.
Yeah,
there's a
this
way-
is
this
how
is
we're
how
gonna
we do it.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you think?
Right. Exactly.
You gotta be
I know that
humble.
one. That's a
and
good
what do
one.
you need?
Mhm.
What do you think? Do you mind if I think about it?
Right. Exactly.
How can they say no?
Right. Yeah.
Sounds so inclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it
work
is.
and
It's
work is
smart.
being done. Work.
How
is
do
being
you
done.
know? I don't think anyone's ever said no.
Right.
I don't think you're allowed
Right.
to say no.
Yeah.
I don't mind telling people I don't know how to do things anymore either.
Right.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I actually quite like it. Say, I don't know.
Yeah.
And they're like, "What do you mean you don't know?"
Well,
I
is
say,
there
"I
a way
don't
for
know
you to
everything."
find out? You know.
Yeah, I'll know more tomorrow. I'll
Right,
tell you.
exactly.
Let me make a few phone calls.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me call Frank. There's
Let me
always
call
a
these
Frank.
guys. There's all these
Frank.
specialists all over town. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Crazy specialists in
Mhm,
LA.
mhm.
Make anything for
Yeah.
you.
You can make anything happen. Well, Regan, on that note, man, I love
Wow.
you.
I love
Thanks,
you too,
thanks
man.
for doing this. Thanks for coming, man.
No, I really enjoyed it. I really did.
You're the
And,
man. And where can people find
Great
you
job.
when they want to check your stuff online and everything? What's all your stuff?
ReganJackson.com.
REGAN.
ReganJackson.com. And I'm at Regan's Land on Instagram.
I'm gonna add you now.
Regan's Land.
Boom, there it is. All right, folks.
Thank
That-
you so much for having me.
thank
and
you, brother.
explaining my my own way. I did it my
No, you did it your way, man. That's a beautiful
I'm doing
thing.
it my way.
You
though.
are
I'm not
doing
did it. It's
yeah.
not done.
It's still going on.
It's a process.
Man, I love you. You're welcome back anytime. And bam, folks, that's it. On to the
It's a
next
long
one.
On to the next
Bam,
one.
bam, bam. Ciao. Bam, that was Regs. What a guy. Hope you enjoyed that. I did. And as always, you can find us at Happy No Fear on Instagram. And you can find me at The Art of Chase on Instagram. Do us a favor and rate and subscribe and share with a couple of friends if you dig the podcast, so we can grow this thing. Would be much appreciated. So until then, see you next week. Bye bye.